Alrighty then, my dear Guilty Gear cultists. Sunday evening, and we're just about to get ready with the weekly show matches here on Bounty Hunters. As you may know, the name of the game is gonna be tonight, once again, Guilty Gear Strive, and the format is first to 7 wins. Skill-based matchmaking applies to all matches, and we are open for players of all skill levels to join. Okay, I'm your usual host QK, and let's quickly go through what's gonna happen tonight, because we're a little bit behind schedule, had to do some last-minute tweaking. We got the matchup slot number 2 cancelled on a short notice. We have one random select match. We're in fact gonna start with that tonight. And then, well, you got your usual high-octane, bloody murder Guilty Gear FT7 shenanigans, as you may know. A couple of newcomers. Let's see. We got Niemi doing their debut on Bounty Hunters, and I think that's the only one this week. Yeah. Otherwise, their roster should be like pretty fairly common, not common, regular, familiar. That's the word I was looking for. Familiar faces. Other than Hoplan is of course gonna play his side character tonight on that matchup slot number 5, or I guess technically 4, since the slot 2 is not happening. So interesting gonna see how Hoplan's Sin has developed. I think Hoplan has been playing Sin quite a bit recently. Since our matchup slot number 1 bout is a random select match, we should probably head over to the cards, get players in the lobby, and start explaining what this shit is all about. At least the random part of the show. Well, let's get Miku and Raven in here. So how this is gonna work for the random select, since there is no innate random picker in the client, we're gonna random a character for Miku, who is the only random selector tonight. Gonna play against character locked Raven here, who is gonna be playing Baiken all the way through. But Miku, we're gonna come out of the match between every single game into, let me pull this shit up, into this nifty interface where Miku is gonna get a new character for every single match. And in fact, let's actually do the randoming already. So I'm gonna start out with a Dizzy. And on the screen here we have Miku's self-evaluated power tiers that we've basically dubbed it in Bounty Hunters. Technically it's the player's self-evaluation for how well they think they will perform on these characters in sort of relation to their other characters. Of course, the mains, the top dogs are at the top, and then the very little experienced characters are on the bottom. And how these usually work, if you're against another, or rather, if you're against somebody who does not random pick, we generally try to sort of balance the match so that like the opponent's character that they are playing is maybe somewhere roughly around the middle-ish of the sort of the power of the whole roster of the opponent. But of course, this is all like semi-speculative kind of endeavor to try to match. It's usually going to be a lot of chaos, a lot of RNG, if you will. Oh yeah, I forgot to check where Miku's Dizzy was. Alright, it's going to be a surprise. So anyway, Raven with their main. Like in a character who, one of the sort of clumsiest characters in a way Does have this like standard mobility of every character, has good air buttons, slightly lacking on the grounded aspect though, and would much rather like to pressure and mix up their opponent rather than keep playing neutral, although you do have some ability to play it. Speaking of neutral tools, Raven hitting that heavy kabari there, basically the longest reaching move that Baiken has to offer. Ooh, that's a very slow start up there on the S kabari. And Miku catching that with a drift forward BRC. Yeah, the jump slash. We were talking about the big, good air buttons of this character. Even though it's a little hard to engage as Baiken on the ground. Oh, we have the juice for the kill as well. Nice. Even though it's a little hard to engage on the ground, she does have extremely good air buttons. And kind of a lot of different kinds of angles where she could attack from. Of course, you have the jump slash, one of the best air normals in the game. You have your tatamis, which can kind of produce like falling obstacles for the opponent, and then of course Yozan hits all around you, so you can do all sorts of shenanigans with that. Now goes for the throw a little bit too early. I think the idea was to put the fishy on and go for a throw before the fishy hits, which I think it's possible in most, or at least in some setups. Spinning meter here for the forced pressure situation. No Escabari, please. The Escabari is of course one of the better damage amplification tools for Baiken. Ooh, just goes for the throw, and now with the tether attached, hops behind. This is the power of Baiken. So Raven is gonna claim that first point, and as we said, the show must go on. Let me check. So the DC was in a pretty good category, so pretty decent win right off the bat for Raven. Now Lucy was let's see, I think I saw Lucy in the not too bad but not too great either category. So this would be slightly lower power level pick here on the next one for Miku. Although I gotta say, when people have gotten Lucy's in random select, it's been a lot of the time it's actually been pretty good, even though they've sort of self-evaluated those Lucy picks to be quite weak. And I think one of the reasons for that is that Lucy is fairly standard character in nature, and if you do have good fundamentals, like good fighting game fundamentals, but also strive fundamentals, this kind of character is kind of pretty simple to play and get started. And I already see there are those, what do you call it, those charge cancel or those monowire cancels, those what they are, that I saw Hatsune Miku actually use here. So we do have some familiarity definitely with the tool set of this character. Raven though, relentless close slash, did land a hit, but already committed in the mix-up. DP out of it. This is a high climb to wall, to climb, kill to climb rather. We still got the debuff on, which is it's a cool addition to Lucy's kit, but doesn't necessarily elevate her damage that much. Loreka here doesn't quite get the conversion. That would be the kill as well, potentially, or at least forcing Raven to use burst here. That hacking super for Lucy is one of the highest amounts of damage. Usually requires her, like her biggest combos do require the hack if you want to do like absurd GGST kind of damage. Otherwise, she's like a little bit on the tamer side, I would say. Ooh, great air throw there. No drive-by Yozan shenanigans. Another monowire cancel here. Check what the opponent wants to do. Those monowire cancels can come in handy, especially if Baiken tries to go for a reversal parry, expecting maybe like a meaty charged monowire. But unfortunately, isn't gonna meant to be this time around. Raven takes a quick second one. Looking like Raven doing pretty well tonight. And next one for Miku is gonna be Johnny. And that character is located in the mid-tier, so somewhere between what we were random in the first one and the second one. Johnny, of course, has received some toning down recently, so no longer quite as fast on his feet as he used to be. When those legs don't work quite like they used to be, or how does that song go? And both the forward dash and the back dash don't move you as fast or don't move you as far either. I think in the case of backdash now, So you're a little bit more immobile, have to rely on your reach instead, which, I mean, arguably on this kind of character, especially a character that used to be like almost undisputed #1, it's kind of cool that you have to work for, you know, that you have weaknesses in your character's kit. A wind throw. This will sort of nullify the rest of the duration of the S Kabari. Misses the meaty timing though. A little shenanigan here. This is pretty costly. Probably pretty okay for Johnny because you could get that instant air. The TK Mistfinder mix there. Another really great use of meter, but the jump B doesn't quite convert. And Raven is actually gonna... No, never mind. I was gonna say Raven is gonna steal that. But Miku steals it back. It's a little bit of back and forth there. Fumbling from side to side. Good mash there from the forward dash Mistfinder. There's a lot of stuff that you kind of want to try to challenge if you can from Johnny. Because there's a lot of bluffing involved, as you know, fittingly so when your whole like thematic kit is that of a gambler. So in some of those strings you could sort of pressure reset into your deal, and if the opponent doesn't flinch, well, you're gonna get yourself a nice little guard crush. And of course from those forward sliding Mistfinder cancels, you also have to be ready to interact with them. We're good so far. However, the close slash, rare footage of Johnny close slash actually not hitting. This time we go for the air throw to the other side. I think that 6P was still on recovery, and look at that range. Even despite the pushback from the deflect shield, Mistfinder cannot be contained, unfortunately, this time for Raven. And Miku puts themselves on the board. Next random is gonna land on... Is it Giovanna? It's looking like it's gonna be Giovanna. And she is located pretty damn high on the list. Okay, so we're entering the high power characters here. I think currently if memory serves correctly, Miku's main, like the de facto main, is Jacko, which is probably indicated there on the sort of the the position of the characters in the top tier. But this is still pretty good as well. Two characters that kind of need to get in to do their stuff, but of course the neutral game goes for Giovanna, having the better mobility. Less reach on her normals or her tools overall, I think, but you kind of make up for it because you can't really easily whiff anything as Spike, and you can get whiff punished really, really fast. Yeah, look at that! From like half screen away, missing or rather whiffing that far slash, and immediately Miku is ready to stash forward with that 5K to the other side, and it gets a big close slash for that. Both players just absolutely loaded on those resources. Throw RPS. Wait a minute, it's actually Miku who gets the throw. Miku was the one in the air. It gotta be some sort of error. Usually you at least force the opponent to have to like go into the tech RPS, which technically Miku understood that they were in that. It's like the only thing, if you want to get out of that air throw, you have to guess with the throw break. Ooh, that was a nice pressure reset there with the SK buddy. He was trying to go for the 2D there. But really tight defense here. Raven trying to push it, sees the opponent jump, and just waits patiently until the landing frames. Oh my goodness, no small RPS here anymore. That's kind of like one of the like cool things, kind of like the decision making you have to do. Are you gonna take the most safe option or the hardest to counter option, which would be the air throw, or are you gonna sort of trust the opponent that they have the counter play and they are on the same page with you and are guessing for that? Ooh, I wonder if there was a misinput on forward dash 2D. Miku actually got a 5D for their trouble there. Big frame advantage from that spiral arrow. However, Raven managed to get out. Oh, that was impossible to react to, especially with your slowdown frames. it's kind of like if you were on jump, start up there wanting to air throw the opponent, it's probably not possible anymore either. Good mash once again. Raven maintains that 2-game lead. If there's one thing I sort of like about Raven is that they don't respect the opponent too much usually. Is like kind of like show me kind of a situation. Really willing to press those heavy hitting buttons on defense as well to check the opponent's options, and they've been landing pretty well. I think at this point, based on what you've seen so far, I think the adjustment definitely is try to play those frame traps a little bit more tighter and don't necessarily test Raven's willingness to interrupt the offense. So the gold blues here is in the bad tier, damn. And I didn't even make a note of it, but Raven just managed to take out one of Miku's like stronger characters. Now it's the complete opposite. We're basically on the bottom side of the scale here. And on a character like Gold Blues, even though you do a lot of damage per hit, a lot of the extensions, all of the combos, basically like a lot of everything is hidden behind being able to do those behemoth typhoons. So if you're not a half circle master, and it's not a normal half circles either that you gotta do. You gotta do half circles from every imaginable direction to every imaginable different direction. Left, right, from up to bottom, bottom to high. It's not an easy character to just pick up and play unless you've been in the training mode with this one. Are you finding a throw? It is mix-up time. Just a little nifty safe neutral jump into a successful hit here. Ready to break the wall. We're saving the meter for now. Ooh, this is tough. Miku will have to think about the burst here, and there's no choice but to go for it, unfortunately. But at the same time, Raven doesn't know it as well. Might as well go for the RC bait there. Next hit would lead to death. So, and like you don't necessarily have to be so worried about the meter that you have left, or rather your meter balance when the round is just about to be wrapped up. Soul is the next one in the pretty good tier. So once again, fairly high power level pick here for Miku on the next one. Another character that needs to get in close in personal, doesn't necessarily have the sort of repertoire of long-range tools that you kind of enjoy having against Baiken. Although at the same time, 6S for Soul isn't a small button either, so we definitely have the poking capability against Baiken from far away. But of course your favorite position is in, does get the Night Raid Vortex blocked. No punish on the first time. Soul is a character that will happily take some of those incidents when the opponent fails to punish or fails to take advantage of your minus frames, be it from like Bandit Bringer or Vortex or what have you. And now from the first throw, ooh, yeah, counterplay against that reversal parry that Raven hasn't honestly played too much so far. Why is he to get off of me? Nice bait here, back into the corner. Raven does have 100 meter. I think this should be okay for Miku, right? We'll be able to DP here. That's slightly dangerous endeavor if the opponent has 100, because if they trying to go for another success. The last pixel situation again. Attempt to hit confirm. Success into Vortex is fair, and the close slash misses. That's unfortunate. If the opponent was indeed mashing reversal, that close slash would have hit as a counter hit. Except if the idea was to like purposely whip that close slash to go for a throw as a frame kill, which is what Miku actually used here. Whip punish with the success. Nice presence of mind. Completely awake. The close slash whiffs again. This is a huge problem, I think, in my opinion, especially the meaty timings on characters that you don't necessarily play all that often. even though technically close slashes tend to be like fairly universal in nature, it's still like the vibe is very different, and the bait once again gets the throw. The big classic wild throw to finish the round. It's having a relatively high reward command grab is definitely a useful tool against characters like characters like Baiken who love to use reversal tools that are throw vulnerable. At least you make sure that you get these. Oh, the backdash PRC overhead mix-up gets decent damage out of it, but it is a proposition that spends a lot of resources compared to how much you're gonna be cashing out. So now Miku finally finds themselves with 50 meter here from this block string, but do they get to use it? Unfortunately not! That's kind of like a huge thing you have to struggle with if you choose to spend meter, generally in Guilty Gear games. It's a little easier in Guilty Gear Strive because there are so many ways of building meter, but especially in older gear, if you spend too early, then you kind of have to face the reality of the situation that because of the meter build penalty, you might have to spend a lot of, the next maybe like 10-ish seconds being just completely dry, especially if you spend that 50 when you were at exactly 50 meter mark. Well, yeah, another pretty good tier character here for Miku. Coming into that Bedman, very high up in the tier list. Which is, I think, exactly what Miku needs in here. Absolutely has to break the momentum of Ravens if there is to be more matches. It's kind of scary playing against players who, the bait here. Raven doesn't go for the bait just yet. Jumpy finds a counter hit. Once again, I wonder if that was a combo drop or a hard bait from Miku. But Raven still maintains that burst. And the reversal super does find its mark as well. So now, opportunity to run it back. 2S from downtown, very far away. Go for it again. No significant combos found just yet. I wonder if Raven would burst here. Goes for a soft-ish bait, however, spends 50 meter for it. And now, Raven can't commit to it anymore. But even if you didn't burst this round here as Raven, the amount of burst baits that you sort of got out of Miku sort of equals it out and maybe even got more value than just taking the burst in the face. Or rather, using the burst and getting out of the pressure, let's say. Ooh, straight into the error here. Plus frames from the vacuum jump slash. Ooh, that was a great aggressive move. Dashing forward 6p before the bomb head goes off, which completely nullifies it immediately unless you have your install super active as bad. Now it's Miku who finds themselves using the burst here, even on a winning round count. So this is basically Miku saying, I think I have a good chance here with the amount of resources I have, and it makes sense because Miku did have that 100 meter to spend. Unfortunately, didn't get to do so, but now it is Guilty Gear Strive, and you do build both burst and meter back pretty fast, so going through the wall once could potentially secure Miku still a full blue burst. Or alternatively, you could play around just not having the burst and using your white wild assault for playing neutral if the opportunity arises. But does it? Will it? We do go back to neutral here. And Miku is so close. Oh, the counter hit. I wonder if there was a pick there or not. Sometimes it's a little hard to pick up those wild assault combos unless they sort of are not fully charged ones. With the pressure. Ooh, that was a very delayed error there. I think I got bamboozled there as well. It was like, is it over? Is it over? Because Miku was pushed very far away, but there was a still super delayed explosion from that error. Which does get the wall slump as well as the kill. Good job. This is exactly what we need. We need those wins in order to close the gap here. Jacko is another great pick without even having to look at it. We talked about it before. Jacko is quite the strong character here for Miku. So Lady Luck is smiling and attempting to sort of, whatchamacallit, return back the equilibrium of the match. But now, if Raven would manage to take out this one, it would be almost like a nail in the coffin, so... Another really important match here if Miku still wants to fight for this set from a 2-5 position, randoming into the quotation one of the mains. Opponent in the sandwich, finding a counter hit. This time, nice. I do love that. Previous round, Raven was like, nah, I'm not gonna burst, but this time goes for a fast one. It's a really good sort of code of conduct in fighting games to not always play the same options that you do. Oh, God, I love it! I absolutely love it! The aggressive dash forward. Again, BlackRaven showing the aggressiveness of their playstyle. And engaging the opponent when they are in sort of abusable position in the air, holding that minion and just manage to slide under. Just a little bit life left here. Raven again, the aggressive dashes are working, but this time Miku drops the minion in front and goes for attack command. Yeah, even though you can call out some of those commitative tosses on the minions that like try to aim you from the other side of the screen, you do have options to induce, or rather they use different angles, such as like dropping minions like so. You can definitely drop them in front of you and then make them intercept the opponent. Like the dash out of the corner, the instant, or rather the late air backdash as a shimmy. I think this does not kill right. It's gonna be super close. But Raven alive with the last bit of their health. Super is available. YRC is available. Tries to go for the 2S, but it is in vain for Miku's setup. Is impenetrable. Alright, good. Taking the win on the main here. It's always like slightly unfortunate when you random into your literal best character. It doesn't happen very often in these random select matches, but it does, yeah, you know, it has happened once or twice. Once in a blue moon where you sort of lose with your main character and then you're like, oh man, what can I actually do in this set if the strongest character does not work out? Now Faust is the next one for Miku, located in the bad category. But, you know, Lady Luck giveth and Lady Luck taketh, and now it's time to go back, hop back on the struggle bus and try to make the best out of this situation. Can Faust do it against Raven's Spiken? I think there was originally an extra tier there on Miku's tier list, which is not shown on screen actually, which is kind of like the 0 experience tier. So I think even these bad picks are something that Miku at least knows the buttons and maybe even some combos for. Maybe not all is lost if you can bring a little bit extra RNG factor into this already RNG heavy match in form of those items. We got the setups, and I think this, no, not quite the kill. Afro is lit. There really isn't a lot of stuff that you can do as Raven here. Maybe attempt to like parry out of it, but yeah, even that is really committed. One round down for Miku on a low tier character, or rather not a low tier character but low power tier character. Big difference between those two. I mean, even though you could argue that maybe Faust is a low tier character as well, depending on your point of view. Inhales a hammer. That's a good item to throw. They do say hammer is one of the best ones, so understandable that you would want to spit it out pretty fast. It's lit again. And I think that's a pretty good escape, pretty good outcome for Raven, getting out of that late Afro situation with minimal amount of life lost. Goes for the jump, the interception, hot potato game. Won there momentarily by Raven by using the wild assault, gets out of the corner, nice backdash. I wonder if that was forward dash or a backdash, or if Raven was able to react to what is going on here. 6 heavy doesn't quite take the cake here. Nice whiff punish, goes into the wild assault. However, that inflicts a lot of gravity DK, so you can only do so much. And the 5P as a quick anti-air option here. I do like that once again. Picking the right buttons for the occasion. Being aggressive in all the right ways. Ooh, wait! The last hit of the mix did not hit. I think Raven actually wanted to counter that for big rewards, but it ended up missing. I bet Miku was sort of drifting backwards on that one. Switching positions from that counter hit, close slash. Forcing Raven to burst. Surviving the teleport mix-up without taking the hit. That's a decently large RPS win, because now, again, Miku is on that meter build penalty and ain't gonna get it back anytime soon. However, good stroke of luck here. In the corner, we got the trumpet landing straight on Miku's. However, miss on the 6 heavy. Oh no, this is dangerous. The burst has to be hit here. The hard bait. I love it. The timing is good. And the RPS in the ground. Both players go for the throw. One more hit for anybody. 5P. Wait, slide forward. The hammer. Where is the hammer? The hammer's a traitor. Why would you? Just bounces just past Raven. Are you kidding me? That was a disrespect I would have never gone for. Was there like a micro dash for Raven to get out of that hammer range? Wow. I would have been so, you know, scared out of my mind there, saying that the opponent actually threw a hammer. But not Raven. We're not scared here. We're here to play. We're here to power through. Jesus, okay. That was a really close one though. On a low power scale character. Potemkin is gonna be the next one. Potentially last one. This is in the not bad category, but I mean, at least it's not bad, right? Could be worse, but could be better as well. And this is a character who does have that very hard hitting command throw option as well, if you have the RPS, you know, Raven's reversal options.
Duel 1.
Another do or die for Miku. Starting with the 2P. Very slow for a 2P, but very far reaching for its startup. Raven a little bit earlier on the button here, and chasing the backdash as well. I want to say both players are relatively conscious of each other's burst, trying to bait it whenever possible. This is some 5D chess here, just whipping those small pixie buttons, or rather stubby buttons. But of course, oh, wait, that's not enough. It's actually not enough. Tried to parry here. Although I think Garuda is considered a projectile nowadays, so cannot be parried on Wake Up, right? Or just parried, period. Is this strategical warfare? Attempting to wait for the opponent to come at you? Look at this, just standing right at the edge here. Is this footsies? Is this the footsies that we were talking about, or is something going on here? I think Raven is the air dashing in and not quite getting the usual. This looks. Wait, is this desynced? This looks really strange to me. Maybe it's like a phone call or something. Who knows? Either way. Yeah, Raven did ask on Discord side, was that a DC? Because this, I haven't seen desyncs very often in Guilty Gear Strive, but this might have been one of those cases. I'm gonna ask them. Yeah, we're probably gonna redo it because that was, seems like that was oh, is there like a bug on Potemkin's side that causes desyncs? Is that kind of like what Miku said on the Discord side as well? And there have been like glitches like that in the past as well, like certain sequences that can cause a desync, and that definitely seemed like one. So we're gonna run it back. This looks much more like what you would expect from a Guilty Gear Strive match. Fast pace, high-octane action. Nothing like Street Fighter. Not to throw any shade on other competitive titles. Oh, tried to go for that parry there. Now, will they be able to get the Buster? Oh no! Raven actually goes for a counter RC to slow the opponent's frames and to backdash out of it. That was a great option as well. You can't exactly see what the option that the opponent wants to play is, and you're gonna have to lock in your own. And that was a great choice there. But so is this last round-ending Buster. From the corner pressure, manages to land the big B. Don't tell me. Wait, did it happen again? Are you kidding me? Wait, is this character just broken? Wait, is there actually like something that makes Potemkin break the game at the moment? Because we actually have 2 desyncs in a row. Like, I have casted so many games of Guilty Gear Strive. I've played so many Guilty Gear Strive matches myself. I've barely ever seen desyncs happen in Guilty Gear Strive. It does happen like once in a blue moon, but man, is it rare. Could it be a mod issue? Because like I do wonder. It does kind of make sense because like I've personally always ran with a vanilla client. So if you do have some mods that are potentially out of date or otherwise. One option, yeah, it's... Yeah, but... Let's see, yeah, we could just do a different random. Give me a sec, trying to, yeah, I guess it's the safest option is to just do a different random because it does seem to have something to do with Potemkin. So Milia is much higher on the power tier list, so the little whatchamacallit, the little excursion here, giving a little bit of new juice, breathes a little bit more life into the sort of the potential for Miku to run this back. So we got the Hair Witch instead of the Potemkin. Hopefully we can actually play it out this time. It was like the first 7 or like 8 IS matches were just perfectly okay, and then just, I don't know, something magical happened. Ooh, not trusting the setup here, just goes for the throw. The disc is actually active, because that disc itself does not get pushed back even if the main body of Milia does. Good patience here, takes the burst, and I think takes the life of Miku's as well. Because this is, remember, this is a pixie character. And I think Tsuranetsan's Watashi is a pretty decently hard-hitting damage super as well, combined with the wall break. I'm going for a little bit of a shimmy variant here, using the new move Artemis. To the other side, yours, and this is gonna hurt. We do have some resources here, 75 meter as well as 75 burst, but I wonder, is that gonna be any good here? Getting an up on a hit is decent, however, Raven finds the hit and seals the deal, 7-2. Really strong performance here by Raven. And I think, like, it was very... There were some low-tier picks, low-tier randoms that we went into, but I think Miku had a lion's share of the characters being either like a mid-tier or high-tier character from the randoms. So overall, not too bad of turnout for Miku's randoms. Can't really, probably can't be too bothered about the RNG. Good match nonetheless, even though we a little weirdness happening there at the end. Okay, so the number two slot match is gonna be skipped, unfortunately, since one of the players had to do something on a short notice. So we're gonna be moving to the slot number 3, which is Froyo and Lamp. Let's actually inquire about the status of the players. I think there was a chance that, was it Lamp or Froyo? One of the players was had a like situation where they might not be in home at the time of the match, but let's see how it goes. Seems like everything is a-okay. And we can in fact proceed with the match. Oh, now that I can remember, let's flip this room back to a rematch for our next pair. Yeah, they may have taken our land, but they never take our freedom, or however the quote goes. I haven't actually seen that. Anyway, so Froyo Lamp, a Scotland mirror match, region mirror match here. Never seen yet on Bounty Hunters, and I think this matchup also. Wait, could this actually be the first Ino versus Ram that we ever have on Bounty Hunters? Because Ram is not the most actively played character overall, like either on Bounty Hunters or overall in the scene, and I can't remember to have casted this very many times. I'll just hype it up without checking the data sheet. I'm gonna say this is the first Ino versus Ram ever in the... How many matches have we overall just played on Bounty Hunters to begin with? I think it's a lot of matches. 221 events, out of which I think the average set count is probably more than 6, right? It's probably like averaging on, if you don't do decimals, it's gonna be like 6, but I think it's more than 6 on average. We've like, it's relatively rare to have a
Mankind knew that they cannot change society.
Have like a cart that isn't super full.
Themselves, they blame the beasts.
Which is of course really cool coming from older Guilty Gear games, where, you know, Guilty Gear kind of used to be a niche thing in the past before Guilty Gear Strive. And it was the niche anime fighting game community strictly that played these games. So we've seen a lot of empty events, a lot of, you know, only 3-slot, 2-slot events on our time. But now let's return back to the past, or sorry, back to the present rather.
Versus Eno. Duel 1.
And see how this Lamp versus Froyo gonna go. Swap names as well to reflect the sides, and we've got already Froyo on the warpath, on the offensive, getting the first wall break. Of course, Eno is a kind of a character who would love to always get hard knockdowns if possible, so we can set up your nasty forward dash pressure. Her forward dash is a little different, what we call in the scene float dash. When you press 6-6, it launches Eno in the air, which sort of reduces her ability, or reduces from her ability to play neutral, but supercharges her pressure and her mix-up opportunities. Can always put Eno airborne without having to jump. Whereas if you press a jump on any other character, it does kind of launch you into the stratosphere, which prevents you from doing like instant overhead kind of things unless your character has something very special. Ino has always been an exception. Ino can like instant overhead you from any kind of offensive pressure reset or Oki position very easily. It's super hard to block against as well. Plus frames, chooses to actually disengage from the situation, probably with a lot of meter. There is a command grab opportunity, potentially doesn't even need it. Here comes the burst. I wonder if throwing the super would deal a lot of chip damage. Lamp does have tension for FD here. Ooh, critical miss on the combo. The opponent is still in the corner though. Gotta be careful with that reversal super. Froyo is basically in a position where she can kind of chill for now, and kind of just chilling there is very, very scary as well for your opponent. Yeah, the simple threat of the reversal super, forcing Lamp to sort of second guess her own offense. Same kind of threat as if you would have a DP on board. It's not necessarily the power doesn't necessarily come from using the tool itself. It's the existence of the tool, that the potential that you might use it, that brings you a lot of value as well. Ooh, nice whiff punish with the 5k. However, wasn't queuing up any subsequent buttons, and I think with the improved 2D that Ram has here, I think that might or might not, I'm not 100% sure, but might have been able to hit confirm that into 2D. Of course, if you haven't played Ram too much this patch, your muscle memory would still be kind of like on and off with the improved range of that 2D, which he hasn't been able to use too much for her strings in the past. But arguably, she doesn't necessarily have hats to use it either. Has a lot of tools to sort of fight from the range where 2D is not necessarily like needed for her game plan, but it is a nice tool. Get the 6p in there. Ooh, can we run this back? Froyo again with that 100. Yeah, again, that respect here. Is it gonna come out? Because remember, 100 meter means that if you want to hit that super, there's absolutely nothing your opponent can do about it if they like smack a PRC at the end as well. Even if it whiffs, supers in this game can be PRC'd if you have 100 meter ready to go. Another really great feature for, you know, if you're the kind of player who is patient with their meter and wants to build before burning, then that prospect is available to you. Nice punish there on the landing. Both swords ready to be tossed. Throwing the first one. Of course, Guard Crush is available for sword throw if it affects the opponent on impact. Unable to get the wall here, but again, this situation just keeps looping. Froyo once again with the 100 meter, but we have meter here at home as well, and the 5 heavy does find its mark. I mean, you eventually have to hit something right. You can't just keep sitting there. So it's kind of like a, it's an interesting RPS game for sure. At neutral position, that happens with that amount of meter on both players' accounts. Ooh, goes straight into the Rekka. Does find the hit, but the Rekka 2 was a little delayed there. Ooh, that actually able to block and gets there in time. Actually, was there a punish text there? Unsure if that was a true punish, but Froyo certainly took her turn after the Mortabato. And now intercepted well with the jump B. Doesn't quite get pressure going, but afterwards the 6p is good. Another good tool here, backdash from Froyo. Goes under the 5 heavy, and that should be a nail in the coffin. Froyo gets another one in a row. Playing here like a chess match here, and you kinda do have to respect the neutral capabilities of Ram as well if you are on the Ino side. Of course, you wouldn't love to necessarily play neutral because, you know, let's face it, Ram is kind of like a neutral beast in a way. But you can't just dash forward all the time either. Or if you choose to send like Stroke the Big Tree, take a huge risk, then you run the risk of running into that Ram level 2S. Or her K buttons. Her K buttons are pretty fast to whip as well. Stuff like 2K. Froyo looking really strong here. Once again, a clean round. Jumping back with the air special move. Calling out the air dive. A big damage coming through here. Especially if you can get opponent in the corner. Ramethel tends to have pretty explosive potential in her combos. I mean, if you get a good hit even from mid-screen, hell, she can use those sword tosses as sort of extra resources to push the corner carrying potential of these her combos. Getting mixed up by the overhead. And we have the super available, goes for it right away. 100 meter that Froyo now has to deal with. Yeah, it's I think tried to go for a safe jump here, but even if the safe jump is good, Lamp would have had 50 meter more where that came from. It could have RC'd for basically guaranteed pressure. Once again, sees the dash forward, goes for a 6P, and then rest is maybe history. The wall gets to the wall, can't quite queue up more Tabato here. But now a lot of resources, flip kick from the skies, and another one. Trying to force her turn, but Froyo staying fairly patient, like unnervingly patient for the kind of archetype that she is playing. Like, players have never exactly been known for their defensive prowess, but I mean, there are sometimes anomaly players who love to sort of go against the grain, go against the actually that is exactly what they love to do, going against the grain, going against the flow of how their respective player base loves to play. Now Lamp is on the board here as well.
Mankind knew that they cannot change. Duel 1. Let's rock.
Again, like it is a commitment to air dash, or rather dash forward at round start. But what Froyo does is not commit to a button, but simply checks what the opponent might do. Like, most of your options are not fast enough to tag you out of like a micro float dash. Oh wait, what happened there? The vacuum effect from the burst is actually super good for Froyo. Was able to put Lamp in the corner. Strange are the ways of our Lord and Savior Ishiwatari. It feels like, especially in Guilty Gear Strive, you tend to sort of flip positions very often when you're using burst. Through the wall. This meter. Ooh, I think maybe the idea was that the sword would have exploded behind you. But cool girls don't look at explosions. And speaking of explosions, an explosion of momentum here for Froyo. Has a lot of different ways of making that happen on Ino. Like we said, the forward dash, the air dives, even Mad Love, and of course Stroke the Big Tree. Everything, basically everything moves Ino forward. Oh, nice side swap. Lamb is gonna drop the combo here, I think prematurely, in order to try to sort of secure the wall break with the use of the super instead of just breaking the wall normally. And now, looking for one more hit. Froyo has a burst, but no tension available for YRC or the reversal super. And I think to play safe here, you would of course save your burst. Player who has to use burst resource first is Lamp. Ooh, another great 6P. Yeah, Ram is one of the better, more, maybe I guess more fortunate characters who has a really nice reach for her 6P horizontally. I mean, all of her buttons are extremely great horizontally, as shown here. Jump slash as well. Controlling the space, a nice jab there, 2P. Getting under pressure, commits to the jump gate though. Getting clipped by Mortobato, reversal super without the meter! Sorry, without the swords. The 6 heavy ends up whipping.
And Froyo bakes out of the corner, breaks out of the corner, maybe bakes as well, who knows? Ooh, utilizing the unique momentum of Inos, sliding forward as that chemical love is unleashed, and keeps the prey locked down. Alrighty, once again, the momentum shifts in favor of Froyo. There is, ooh, that was a very late 6-speed, but I think it landed on landing recovery. There's a lot of cases, especially in this game, where you sort of commit to a jump in, but then the opponent goes for a super late 6-speed, which has like your whole upper body covered and cannot be hit. Unless you hit your button super late on the player who is jumping in. Oh, well, hold that thought. We got a counter hit 6P here. This is going to be decent damage. Can't break the wall with a super. So soft knockdown, equalizing the life situation. This might actually, for a while, might favor Froyo. Lamp is going to have to make a decision here. Are we bursting or not? The answer is yes. We have enough resources as well. Current tension is certainly a choice that you have to sort of leverage when you're thinking about, am I going to burst here or am I going to save it for next round? Actually, probably one of the more important choices. Ooh, tried to jab 5B on the Ram side, but goes wrong way, and now Froyo able to secure a decent combo and positive bonus, walking backwards straight out of that far slash. Lamprella really a little bit more aggressive here this time around with the slowdown frames. Lamp, though, does not dare to hit a button. Ooh, finds a hit on the landing recovery once again, and that's gonna be into the blender with you. YRC on the low option, hop to the other side, and there we go. I think that's the setup that Lamp was trying to do earlier, and hits it properly this time. The reward is gonna be wall break, and now gotta be careful. Froyo is loaded here. There we go. Is this gonna kill? I think because we don't have a burst, or sorry, we don't have another investment of tension here. Froyo is gonna live. 100 meter. Oh, unfortunately won't get to use that. Drifts a little bit too close into the throw range. And the strike cannot start up in time. Very delicate position in terms of like how and when you are hitting your button, especially when you're drifting forward. Gotta be careful that you don't drift too far and then as a result also dash too far into the opponent's active throw range. Able to get a chemical love hit into decent blender. We build the meter just in the nick of time as well. This will secure a hard knockdown. And you're guessing for your life here. Overhead, the classic jump D. One of the make or break buttons. One of the MVP buttons in Ino's pressure. One of those tools that sort of delay your air momentum a little bit, which can create completely ambiguous high-low mix-up. This time, Lamp does stand up for the jump D. Gets clip of the low frame trap, but all is well for now. Pressing Froyo towards the corner. That's a nice trick, going for the throw before the sword explodes. Does it again. But again, I think the downside is that you're only securing so much damage while you're using a very precious resource, which is the sword. You're usually sort of treating the swords as another like unique resource other than just your burst and your tension. Still, Froyo able to fight out of that left corner, bring it to the right one, and then knock down the opponent. 2 games off, a lead is maintained. Lamp hasn't allowed Froyo to run away with too much momentum so far. Finding hit very fast. Prompting the first burst as well. When you go for a very early burst like this, you're kind of expecting to build it back, potentially for the same round, to maybe steal a win. But if not that, it should be available for you at the start of, very early at the start of the next round if, you know, if worst comes to worst. Well, the sword is gonna take care of the business here. Lamp doesn't even have to commit and press a button. Guessing for the forward dash. Froyo disengages though. Ooh, that was a sexy angle there against the Stroke the Big Tree. Can't be low profile forever. And now another great mash between, I think, the Rekkas. I think you can make the Rekkas frame traps, right? But of course, you're trying to leverage your opponent's willingness to press a button and what kind of timing they want to like mash or fuzzy mash with. And the empty low. Yep, the classic high-low mix-up. This is like one of the reasons why you have to be very sort of aggressive and active on defense against Ino. If you're being too passive, Ino could just like after a jump in, just choose to dash forward again, put herself airborne and, you know, reset into another mix-up. Down in the corner, we do have 50 meter as well. Kind of hoping for one of the swords to come back. Has to use the PRC to stall for time. Do have a sword toss available. I think this is the horizontal one, right? Both available. And nice little shimmy there, catching the 2P Abare from Froyo this time. And another great jump K coming down from a really nice angle here. Lamprella. Tap the 5D, and I think no matter how much damage on the wall we have, the target is soft enough to get the kill, even without spending tension. Ooh, that was a commitment. Very deep dash into 6P, but Froyo wasn't ready to commit and was able to get a whip punish there. Alright, we are not in the court. Ooh, nice 6P. Pushes Froyo in there. Now, hoping for one sword to come back. There it is. Ready to throw it at command. Waits for the horizontal one as well. Ooh, okay, has to burst back. Froyo back into the corner. And now Froyo, having been able to break out of there and closing in her own burst. This is, I would say this is very Froyo favorite still. Even if you're taking pressure. Sword secures the wall break, but now look at how much meter Froyo has and a full burst as well. Even with the positive bonus, it's gonna take some time for Lamp to get to those resources. And I think used FD there in a manner where that tension was not available in that scramble situation. 2P, no hit confirmed. We're going into the guard crush. Could this still be a comeback? Ooh, has the burst here. Anything goes. Jumps over the projectile. Even a YOLO dive, I think, would be kind of good if it hits. Oh, but the forward dash 6-6 floating straight into the far slash. Huge range on the ramlet on far slash. I think it's kind of like a good combination where far slash hits relatively high and then, like, compared to many other far slashes in the game, and then 5 heavy hits relatively low. So it's kind of hard for a lot of tools to go under that 5 heavy. I would. Well, wait, was far slash one of the moves that hits really low as well? I kind of forgot. Either way, I have seen so far Froyo stroke the big tree under Ram's 5 heavy, so that is definitely possible. I think it should be possible for far slash as well. Got a tap here. This will secure the wall break and positive bonus. The stagger pressure meets the 2P match once again, and from an explosive position, Froyo securing a side to side, or rather a coast to coast conversion. Oh, meter situation is kind of even, but I think with the use of Morto Battle, it's gonna be enough to prevent Froyo from using any of those newly built resources. Ooh, just dashing forward, being low profile enough. Being able to go under that air stroke, not stroke the big tree, chemical love. There should be a wall break if you want to take it. Yep, we are gonna secure it for half of the opponent's life. But still waiting for the tension. Good timing once again. Bursts Froyo into the corner, and now it's into the guard break city, where the frames are plenty and the mix-ups are maybe not so pretty. Depends on what side you're playing. Goes for a hard bait. The burst wasn't quite back for Froyo yet, unfortunately. Oh, but there the second wave of the bait does get it. Slightly unfortunate mishap for Lamp. Went for the jump cancel burst bait. One hit before the burst came back, but basically committed to the bit. Went for it again, and lo and behold, we got the burst, and we more importantly got the game win here, securing a 4 points even position for both players here. The 2B not hitting high enough. Is that not a valid mash tool if you think the opponent is gonna pressure reset? It is a very common counter play, like using your, like if you have a 2P that hits high enough, using it as your go-to anti-air. If you Matrix dodge out of the jump D. Good positioning for Froyo. Lamprella was trying to check if you would give me an air dash out of the corner, but Froyo was basically backdashing a little, taking back steps, making sure that there is no easy escape trajectory. Because when you jump in the corner, you can kind of see, like, based on what kind of position the opponent is posturing in, is it worth it trying to gamble out and use an air dash? Trying to backdash from those minus frames. Lamp catching the attempt. Mid-screen, sword tosses, not as strong definitely as in the corner. And arguably you only have one really good one, the diagonal sword toss that works as a pressure extended in the... Yo, the 6-speed! Wait, what is happening here? We're going back and forth here during the combo. That one big hit would be good for Lamp. Has to spend the meter FRC to flow back into the pressure. Sword is coming back, but not fast enough. Froyo sends another really great Abare to hit an anti-air. The far slash does not anti-air that time, unfortunately, although I wouldn't be surprised if it did. Got the backdash. Yeah, burst has to be here. Froyo basically saying, screw the next round. I want to end it here. Let's gamble. 6P, no cancel, it's still a good position. Tried to backdash out of that close range position here, Froyo, but got caught by the big buttons of Ram. There we go with the diagonal one. If you score a hit, you need to drop the combo before the wall break is achieved. So it is very like sort of like a I wonder what I would call it, like the way a lot of these pressure and mix-up characters like to play it. Sometimes just, even if you would have a wall break, dropping the combos just before the wall break is available so that you can go for a nice secure corner Okizeme situation. Nice guess here! Takes the deflect shield and takes the game for the first time, I believe. Lamp is gonna be on the winning side. Really great last second RPS reads back to back on these games on Lamp's side. In the previous one, it was the burst bait, and now reading the deflect shield, reading the burst usage. Taking the lead here. Let's see what Froyo has to say about that one. Pressure reset, finds a hit, already queued up the chemical lava, unfortunately, so no hard knockdown available. Ooh, he's sending a YOLO dive. Finds its mark and should get the kill if Lamp is not winning the burst. And this time, no! Wait, oh, okay. Whew, a little bit of a mishap, but you know, we got it. Going into the 6P, predicting that the opponent will fall back into it. Sword toss sends Froyo back tumbling into the corner, but good defense here, able to persevere through both of those guard crushes from the sword tosses, and now your reward is freedom. Finds the hit, forces the burst out of Lamprella, but back into the frying pan. Ooh, breaking free, but we're still not safe. One sword toss, especially when it's the diagonal one that you have available. Gotta be super careful at neutral. I think especially since the diagonal one tends to cover angles that stroke the big tree, could be used to try to engage. And a good punish here with the close slash. Yes, good. Average Scottish pub brawl. Is this it? This is relatively strategic, so if the pop rolls at Scotland's side are chess matches, I do definitely agree. With punish there on the stroke the big tree, and now with Wild Assault, is like one of the better combo characters when the red Wild Assault is considered. Can pretty much break the wall from I think almost any position if she wants to. If the Wild Assault is used. Block here. Transitions into low from jump. The overhead once again finds a big hit. And Super, I think it doesn't kill. Never mind, it does kill. So Froyo secures an even 5 once again. Okay. Proceeding into the championship rounds here. 2 for either player is gonna put an end to this set. Minus frames there, yeah. Checking it with a 5B, probably the safest option. Players do love to check you though, even though they are technically minus from that like horizontal air dive. You want to make sure that the opponent does have the counter play, right? That or the presence of mind. Sometimes even if you even if in the training mode or in on a theoretical settings you know what to do, it's not as clear-cut and simple to bring out those counter plays in the heat of the moment in a real match. Nice! Plays a very good position here, not committing to a hard not committing to an anti-air, instead choosing to just wait for Froyo to drop and catching there on the landing on the float dash once again. Same kind of position here, but this time sends the dive. The dive, very hard to react to unless you're like 6-ping or something immediately when you see Ino go airborne. You go with the corner. Trying to bait, I think, the super here, which Lamp didn't unleash this time. Playing the burst first. There are some considerations for using the burst before your tension to reversal. Of course, the burst is kind of like the stronger defensive tool or resource, but then again, if you use that resource and get a hit, then your subsequent pressure is gonna be weaker because that's tension that you're no longer gonna have even if you knock the opponent down. And 2 in a row, Froyo being down 1 game, but then suddenly a quick adjustment and we are here. Ino is definitely that kind of character. You manage to get a couple of good knockdowns and you can turn disadvantageous situations into wins really fast. I mean, that kind of description goes for a lot of Guilty Gear characters, period. Maybe even every Guilty Gear character ever. I mean, maybe there are some like lower damage, lower momentum characters for sure. And even if Ino, like, on a flip side, has very low damage compared to many other characters, her momentum is massive, as you can see here. This is the super input there, unfortunately. Able to... Whoa! Wait, huh? Got 5 feet out of that? I thought that was tight. Ooh, but look at that. Rare footage of using the S buttons to play footsies with. I mean, Ino does have some really good buttons for counter poking, such as the 2S or the heavy buttons. Nice, gets a 2P Abare. From that, into Wild Assault. Can we get a wall break? Maybe even better, dropping the combo before the wall break happens in order to guarantee another huge hard-hitting sequence here. Froyo needs one more touch to end it all. Lamp is down, definitely, in terms of life and other resources too. Trying to bait the reversal super. Still not released. Here comes the super for pressure. Deflection is good. Gets a punish. And a hit here on the sword. Has 50 meter as well. Yep, goes immediately into the wall break. Super. Now reversal super works out. That was great because Froyo, I think, did not release that reversal super even once during this set. Is that correct? I'm pretty sure that Froyo was holding it in and just defending with the universals, not going for the metered options. But then at the very last moment, when it counted the most, unleashes it. That was like the longest con I've ever seen. Because like both players were super afraid of each other's reversal options when that 50 meter was available, but so scarcely used. Perhaps in the end creating like a false sense of security because it wasn't used. Maybe it's not used here, but oh, then it was. Alright, we got our Seoul player making their debut match tonight in the form of Niemi here. Another explosive matchup here. Potemkin with straight up damage from pretty much every single hit that you can score. And Baiken, once you get in, once you secure a knockdown of some sort, usually has pretty good Okiseme mix-up game. And as a contrast to what we saw from Ino, Baiken is actually pretty explosive from her mix-ups as well. So even though it doesn't necessarily the blender doesn't necessarily loop, so like let's say you get a throw, attach a kabari, then get a hit, get a big damage combo, get a mix-up in, you don't necessarily get to flow back to that kabari again, at least not for free, but to compensate, her damage tends to be relatively high. Like you can expect to deliver, you know, half of the opponent's life bar from the successful guess a lot of the time. Starting with a respect here. I think this is a match between friends. Putting up a show and starting it with a bang. I wonder if Niemi was meaning to do sort of a respect as well, but maybe their taunt button wasn't bound. Oh, misses the ender here. Tries to dash in, go for that parry. We got some high layer Yomi layer reach immediately. Maybe this is how it's gonna be. Maybe these two players play against each other a lot and are already on a Yomi layer that we just simply, as spectators, cannot comprehend, at least not yet, before seeing, you know, what happens here. Going into the fully charged 5D again. Can we get the combo this time? The tether is attached as well, so I think that plays a little part into why you could do combo the way that Lussu did here. The too heavy unfortunately misses and gonna be whiff punished by Tsurane Sanzu Watashi. Boom. Tenchi Jin. Quick game for Lussu here. As far as I understand, these players are like relatively close in skill level as well. Like surprisingly, dangerously close. Alright, opting to 5P tap on the landing frames here. Ooh, good ball! I love that! Because of the attached kabari, you had a little bit more extra momentum and made the character switch position straight into the Potemkin Buster. Plus frames. I think there was a startup of a slight head. Not quite fast enough to get the armor frame started. Wait, is that armored anymore? I forgot. Did they take the armor away from Slide Head? Or did they just delay it? I forgot what the change was. Anyway, Niemi, super loaded here on meter. But can we use any of it? Plus frames on the gun. Pressure goes on, and that 100 meter is unfortunately gonna go down the drain. It's a use it or lose it kind of world. That's why they often say, you know, just go for a reversal super, go for a wire C. At least even if they bait it, you're gonna go down with some, like you're not gonna go down with a full stick of butter. Ooh, we're gonna force some mix-ups here. Get the 5D tap, and it is the Gigantor that ends up immediately breaking the wall. It does have the super property, so even if it's not like the initial hit itself, it does still secure the wall break pretty successfully. consistently, I guess is the word I was looking for. Ooh, can we get an anti-air? No! This deep hitting 5 heavy. Activating fast enough. Maybe Niemi wanted to go for a 5B here. But the situation looked like so that you would have probably needed your upper body invulnerabilities to go through or successfully anti-air that. Stagger pressure and the delay too heavy finds a big counter hit into the ping pong combo. Can we still get a wall stick? No, and maybe not. We don't even need it. Instant overhead looking jump heavy. Is that only on Potemkin? Playing it very safe, but in the end gets snapped into the Gigantor. Are we close enough to the wall to get the wall break here? Not quite, but maybe that's for the best. Wakes up with a gun, which does not have, I don't think it has any startup invus. But maybe it was a sort of calculated risk that the opponent wasn't gonna be close enough to produce that meaty. And now from big combo, Lussu sets up blast frames into the gun. More blast frames. Finds the hit somewhere in the middle of it. I think with the guard crush property. Wait, have I ever seen that setup that Lussu used before? That was kind of cool looking. Because that was a black beat indicating that, you know, Niemi didn't actually block successfully during the sort of airtight string. Ooh, got a straight too heavy, but very hard to hit confirm. Still secures the round. It's definitely a good point to start potentially getting some W's on board here, so that the opponent doesn't run away with too much of a lead. Empty jump into nothing. It's actually Lussu who ends up engaging there with the normal throw. Here we go. Gets them with the buster on the cross-up side. And I think this reversal super is gonna work out. There was a button pressed on the side of Niemi. This will bring Niemi to the 50-meter mark. Ooh, that was slightly unfortunate. Hammerfall breaking at the unfortunate spot where Lussu's, I think, Wild Assault was producing a hitbox there. Yeah, guarantee catching the Escapari. Ooh, that's gonna be it. Niemi indeed puts their name on the scoreboard. 1-2 position here. Or I guess 2-1 depending on how you look at it. Starting out strong once again. Mixes it up, quotation marks, with the fully charged 5D. A reaction check for the ages. Can you react in half a second? If not, the penance that you're gonna have to go through is the big combo damage that pretty much every single character does out of a fully charged 5D in Guilty Gear Strive. Players jumping out of those plus frames. Rather, biking plus frames and missing the... I wonder what kind of a Yomi layer is that, because Lussu has played that a couple of times already. The deep dash into the parry, expecting the opponent to be pressing something. Ooh, straight into Garuda. This combos, right? Yep. That would have actually led into some pretty decent combo damage with that with the Gigantor juggle, I think. Oh, from miles away, Lussu slides into the Potemkin Buster. Half of the opponent's life or half of your life basically evaporating from that successful command grab. We have 15 in potential stocks here. This time, oh, because it ended up hitting. Wasn't able to set up the gun this time around. Too heavy into a simple 1-2 sequence, which does deliver the killing blow here for Niemi. Right, interesting round start. The instant air dash back into Yosansen ended up getting the hit for Lussu. It does cleave all around you. I think it hits, is it forward or, yeah, I think it's forward it hit first. The ping pong combo once again. Oh, this is a dangerous position for Lussu. However, Niemi ends up completely airballing the 2 heavy, which is another super high recovery move. And alas, from that interaction, Lussu able to capitalize with another big biking combo. Ooh, that was kind of sexy. Grabbing in the air. I think it was forward Mega Fist as well. A move that has, rather a button that has been nerfed in startup recently, or was it the startup or the hitbox? One of those basically was nerfed in order to make it a little bit more interactable with the rest of the cast. the back and forth gun combo once again securing decent enough rewards for Lussu. Really likes that tool, and I mean, I'm a huge fan of comboing into your supers if you can pick up the super afterwards. In previous Guilty Gear games, when overdrives did actually not induce meter build penalty, that was like one of the best ways to combo your opponent, one of the most meter economic ways of dealing big damage. Now in Guilty Gear Strive you do have a little bit of that, but it doesn't, if I recall correctly, it doesn't induce the full RC penalty, which is like around 6 seconds, right? It's more like 4, or maybe I'm wrong. Starting very safely, jumping backwards with a big horizontal reaching jump slash of Bikens. Who got them with a low. And now the gun does immediately break the wall. I guess it's okay. It's okay because like if you're only working with 50 meter, you probably want to break immediately. Speaking of, ooh, the Gigantor is still there, trying to dash forward with the armored move. Still having to respect that Gigantor, full hits going in, and this time doesn't break the hammer fall, just lets it rock. Yeah, I think there's been a lot of situations for Niemi where they've actually they've opted to do the hammer fall break. This time it's gonna be good though. Breaking out of it doesn't quite get the punish of their dreams on that jump D. A jump D keeps Biken afloat in the air quite a long time, and I think forces her to go into landing recovery as well. So there was an opportunity. Speaking of opportunities, the far slash punish here on Hammerfall brings home a lot of bread. Jump slash, rare footage of missing from an air-to-air position, and here comes the Buster. Equalizer, we're gonna spend. Alright, the life situation will be even, but now Lussu has a decisive advantage in terms of tension. Oh, it doesn't matter if you just get caught once more. Not quite enough, looking for one more hit. That is gonna be the hit. There was a potential opportunity to burst, but you have to take into account like stuff like the speed of decision making. Maybe you're not ready to just burst yet, like completely immediately, or maybe you're on a different Yomi layer too. Oh, yo, that was so great! Making the sort of the same interaction here, but this time Lussu beats it. When you're kind of like doing the drive-by Yosan cross-up, it's the timing of the armor that definitely matters, and timing of your breaking out of the armor as well. Yeah, this time Niemi didn't have the life to sustain, even though you could have absorbed that hit with your armor. Definitely common grappler things. A lot of grapplers in fighting games do have mechanics that they sort of can use to power through the opponent's option, but pay with their life. And in Guilty Gear as well, Potemkin does lose health for powering through with armor stuff, and if you don't have the life to survive the hit. Oh, this time Lussu does block the fully charged 5D. I think it's Lussu who has been able to land it so far very consistently. Oh, and another cross up there using the Yosan. It's extra tricky as well on tall characters. I think there might be some prospects for hitting Potemkin a little higher in the... a little earlier because of your extended, like, crouching box, even if you are crouching. Tries to swap Lussu potentially out of the air. 2P anti-air ends up working out, catching the landing frames. Oh, great escape. This is the classic super jump instant out of the corner. And now, is that gonna... Yeah, it's actually gonna break the armor. Wait, is that a multi-hit or... No, supers usually break armor in this game, right? I've been playing so many fighting games, like different fighting games recently, so I'm gonna have to pause and think about, like, is this interaction actually real? Am I recalling this interaction properly? Ooh, misses with the wild assault, but we are still in a commanding position. If we are Lussu here, goes for the parry again. Wait, is that a miss input or is that just such a deep Yomi layer that? I do wonder. Wait, that air dash actually went over Gigantor? Was that still active in there, or maybe that's some hitbox magic that happened? Once again, can we go over? During the activation phase, if the point blank hit of Gigantor ends up missing, there are like a lot of instances where you can use a forward moving tool, such as like maybe Gazelle Step on Sin or Stroke the Big Tree as Ino and stuff like that, where you can actually go past the Gigantor. But the frame advantage you're gonna get after that can vary depending on, you know, how fast your forward moving tool is on recovery. Ooh, collides with the S Kabari here. Ooh, got the backdash with the heavy Kabari this time. Yeah, there are different use cases for that move. You can use the S1 for a lot of different kinds of stuff. It charges up the 5D again. Yeah, quick 1, 2, 3, 5-hit combo into a positive bonus. If you do manage to land the finishing strike in that sequence, you do get the positive bonus just like as if you broke the wall. The safe-ish tatami here from the sky. Oh, we got the buster. That's one. Need 2 more hits, or potentially 1 if it's a big counter hit. Although I think this set we've been playing with like moderately conservative combos in a way, but maybe the combo damage doesn't matter that much if you're landing this many busters. This will force a state shift here, wall break if you will, for a positive bonus, and the 6 heavy, the big reach of that button. I think Potemkin players have been starting to play footsies with that button slightly more than maybe in the past. It does retract your hurt box on the startup, or rather, doesn't push it forward at all, even though it looks like it would. Side switching with the FRC. Decent damage, but not quite the kill yet. Niemi looking for 1 more hit. Absolutely need this game here. And with just a simple double jump slash. A trick as old as time for Potemkin users. I mean, I guess an older trick would be like a very early hit on the jump button as you're jumping towards the opponent, because that move hits very deep and very early as well. Anti-air here. Skipping to the other side using Yozan. A very damaging combo here into the throw mix-up, and we can mix up again. Speaking of the mix-ups, we can pick up this... Oh, up to... Interesting. Also opting to not pick up that combo when getting the throw and when the Kabari was attached. Maybe looking at the opponent's life and being like, okay, so if I can't kill here, I should just repeat this mix-up instead for a killing opportunity. Plus frames, Deflect Shield is decently good, however, because that weird physics thing was attached, was not quite able to building up. Oh, no. Oh, no. Even despite the Escabari hit, it's maybe not advantageous to pull the opponent towards you while that Gigantor is on board. Waiting for the burst. Niemi not quite ready to unleash it yet, and in fact Niemi doesn't necessarily have to go for the burst here. It does do so though. Oh, in Buster Rage, I think that should be it. Yes, indeed. I was about to say this is a moderate risk here. It's often when we see players sitting on a round lead, it's the classic quotation safe play to just not spend it. Maybe get value if the opponent goes for a burst bait, makes a mistake in that regard. But no, this time Niemi actually finding a successful hit. And the light gambit paying off. Speaking of gambits, grabbing the opponent from their pressure. Definitely what Potemkin players are, or rather have gotten much better at doing, especially since that faded patch that put armor in Potemkin Buster and then put it back after it got removed for a little bit, for a little while. Oh, again! Well, slight combo drop there, but we are still working in the corner, but for how long? Reversal super out of there. That was, oh, again, I love that. The willingness to hold on to that armor charge and not breaking out is what managed to get Niemi that round. Sometimes you second guess yourself and are like, should I break this? But if you choose to break if you choose to go to the hammerfall break, then you only maintain certain amount of armor frames still, and sort of put yourself in a strikeable state. Compared to if you just send it, it basically the armor persists throughout the whole ordeal. Can't quite get the buster here, and a cool punish from Lussu. From the jump back, realized that the opponent did go for the throw option that we were reading and unleashes the gun in the air. Jumping back from command grabs can make it like impossible for a lot of characters to land that punish. And it's cool when you have like air options that you can use after after confirming that they indeed went for the throw. Now, can we get a successful enough sequence? Quite enough damage, but the chip damage from the second hit is enough to knock down Niemi. Briefly in the lead, but then Lussu arrives to 6 points first. We got another nail biter on our hands. Now, will Niemi be able to bring this back? Or is this the end? With the double jump, hops over the heavy version of the Kabari. Kind of like a fireball function, that heavy Kabari in a way. Ooh, and Lussu is basically saying, I think this combo kills, but will it? Will it? Potemkin has so much EHP, and especially at the very end of those guts, receiving only so much damage. Doesn't matter, Lussu gets the round and puts themselves on a set point position here. First one of the set. Oh, wait, that didn't cross up? That's great counterplay here for Niemi, if you think that Baiken is gonna land in front of you. The mirror is still active, have to block it. Oh, actually ends up breaking the wall before the 5D overhead actually lands. Niemi does build to that 50-meter threshold. We're gonna RC here. In fact, no, never mind, we don't have to RC. Okay, I was about to say, even if this doesn't kill, we do have the RC option. Roughly equal situation, both players almost at the tip, or almost at the full burst gauge. The first hit is faded. The buster, half of your life gone, and now what? Skip it to the other side, letting the armor rock, and then setting up. Oh, it hits us an OTG, but it is still gonna travel for quite a while. Oh, finally Lussu succumbing to the same fully charged 5D that they've been using for the like at least 3 or 4 times. Damn, we are gonna go into the very last round or very last game of this set. Could be the round as well. Stay tuned and see who is gonna take it home, unless I miscounted. Oh, maybe I actually forgot to put 1 point on Niemi. Because yeah, I actually thought that maybe there was one match where I missed it. And I think indeed that means that that is gonna be 7-6 for Niemi. Very back-to-back match. It was around that like 3rd or 4th game where I was like, I thought Niemi got the win, and I thought Niemi has like 1 point less than intended, but I wasn't sure, so we just let the show go on. Anyway, Niemi taking their Bounty Hunters debut match with that Baiken. Alright, we got some high-level matches ahead here for the last 3 of the evening. Out of which first, coming out Scarlet, facing off against Hoplan's side hustle, which is T-FISK. Now, it's been a while since we've seen Hoplan Sin. There was like a period between, you know, bringing the Sin online for the first time and then going back to Nagoriyuki, because there was like a brief period of brief competitive period in Finland where we had some tournaments coming up, and it was definitely worth it to keep your primary character sort of warmed up and ready to go. But now, since there are no events happening for a while, it's once again definitely viable to work on those side characters if it is in your best interest. And I think Hoplan has been liking the Sin quite a bit. There are definitely some similarities between these two characters, Nagoriyuki and Sin. Some even say that, you know, Nagoriyuki sort of stole the niche from T-FISK that he used to have in Guilty Gear Xrd. Like, the blood mechanic is much more... what's the word I'm looking for? Much more representative of the calorie gauge of Xrd Sins, rather than whatever Sin has now. You can't really make a sort of like a forever lasting mistake with your unique resource anymore when you're playing Sin, whereas in the past, if you mismanage your calories and stun yourself, yes, stun yourself, that was a thing in the past. If you use too much, you would just go into self-stun and probably lose the game right there. But now when the stamina, calories, stamina, basically same mechanic, or not really same, but same idea. Now the stamina comes back naturally and normally without having to do anything. So you can't really lock yourself in a position where like you mismanaged your resource and you're just completely fucked. I think we've recently had this matchup quite a bit. DC versus Sin, mother versus son. If I had to bet money, I'm gonna be, how can I say this in the most unbiased way? Of course, I'm a huge Hoplan fan, and who wouldn't be if you're from the Finnish fighting game community? Who wouldn't be a huge ass Hoplan fan? But if I had to gamble, and if I said that I want to win some money, I would still be a little hesitant putting my money on Hoplan, because this is a sub character, and the last time we've seen Hoplan on the scene, it was still like rather early to the journey. And Scarlet is pretty deadly with that Dizzy. And Dizzy is also a kind of character who can be tricky to fight if you don't have like understanding of the matchup. So because Hoplan has only had some like limited amount of time on this character, might not necessarily know all the ins and outs of playing against Dizzy, which could be another factor playing in Scarlet's hand. But let's see how it's gonna go here. Scarlet's Dizzy versus Hoplan's side character Sin. Let's go. Engaging from the round start. Sin is a character with one of the like furthest moving back special moves for a good reason. We have a lot of tools. If you break out from that mid to close range position, you get to utilize your range that you get from that far slash, your beak driver, as well as the convertibility that those tools allow you. Like no matter what you touch your opponent with, even if you don't have tension, you often have pretty damaging conversions inbound. That was a counter hit, but I wonder from that range, can he even connect 2D? So Hoplan might have actually made the right decision here to convert the counter hit Elk Hunt into a pressure reset instead of trying to combo forcefully. And this time opting to use the meter burn from Elk. There's a lot of like, like nuance to how you should be using Elk Hunt in this modern version. Because Elk Hunt was nerfed and you no longer get like meterless conversions, it's you usually have to use tension if you want to get something. So like making decisions between if you want to RC convert it, if you want to like go straight. Oh, that was an unfortunate drop on the Tyrant Barrel. Hoplan still in a life leading position, has to wait for the stamina to come back. Really difficult to move on the ground, and I think even though you did, oh, that Wings actually resolved and did some damage. Yo, Wings of Light doing something? First time ever? I think there's only like a couple of Dizzy players that we've ever seen actually being able to resolve that long ass cooldown Wings of Light, and like resolving it is one thing, and then actually doing some relevant damage with this is another. Counter pressing a button from mid screen, the two S whips, getting a big counter hit with that Michael sword. The wings are ticking in the background. This should be enough. I think during the super animations they don't tick down. That was a really cool sequence, like a lot of really cool sequences for Scarlet there, involving wings. I think like many Dizzy players have been like either starting to favor the wings a little bit more, or just have had enough time with the character that they are now comfortable sort of including that tool in their toolkit. Ooh, we had a little bit of momentum going into the slide. If you have to start from like zero momentum position while the ice floor is on, it kind of causes these Looney Tunes kind of like trying to slide forward or slipping in place. But if you already have momentum as it manifests, then I think you maintain that momentum and slide forward, which is often like preferable because you want to close in the gap between you and the opponent. Ooh, collides with the ice pillar. Scarlet choosing to keep the combo rather short. Elk Hunt doing some work, going here under the Michael sword variant and into a clean kill. The Hoplan is definitely likes, very fond of that Elk Hunt tool. That was a really nice dash block in the first spike, but still have to deal with the other one if you block the heavy spike on the other side of the screen. The wings resolve, no matter. We got the hit. I didn't quite manage to catch how much damage it delivered, but can't have been too much. That's kind of like an interesting mechanic that you can actually deal damage to the opponent during their block string, as long as you don't get hit. ends up missing. Gotta be careful with that. Even though that tool is very far-reaching, it's also kind of dangerous to whiff. There are much better tools for Sinkisk, like if you're thinking you're gonna whiff, if you wanna... Ooh, no! The RC here catches the burst from Hoplan. So that means we're gonna go into the last round here with Scarlet having a huge lead on burst. Sorry, huge lead on burst. Nice counter poke there on the chestnut. This is why you can't necessarily summon willy-nilly. Like summoning those blue fishes as well as the chestnut can be a dangerous endeavor if you are at the tip range of Sin's Beak Driver. And Hoplan has been used. Oh, that's a lot of damage! That's a lot of damage from the wings! That's probably the most amount of damage that we've ever seen on Bounty Hunters. Short burst, but if you have meter, like if Dizzy has meter to spend for the continuous, like, HP removal type of damage, like it's not combo damage, it's just damage you take, period, no matter what's happening. It does deal a lot of DPS, but it does also drain away from your attention bar really fast. So you kind of have to have the juice to be able to keep dealing that wings damage. Makes the burst, or sorry, the DP. Prompting burst from Hoplan in order to keep this corner position now. Scarlet has an option to burst here herself if she wants to. Does manage to hold on to that burst for now though. Getting a win here would be like the big money for Scarlet. Ooh, tap 5D, however, no conversion out of that. Hoplan with the, I think that was one of the shenanigans. What was that? Oof, drift downwards, PRC or FRC, if I saw correctly. It happened too fast. At a dangerous range, however, good timing on the 5 heavy. Actually ends up poking low enough so that Elkan doesn't go under. I think Elkan did get the low profile frames there already. But the 5 heavy is kind of massive button. Very active and massive, which is kind of two features that you would love to always have against Beak Driver. But if you whiff with it, it's one of the most whiff punishable moves in the game. Now wings are active. Ooh, unfortunate. That burst, or rather that throw would have been good. So now Hoplan not only getting the punish, but a wall break at that. Ah, the nice little delay there between the Beak 1 and Beak 2 hits, securing a frame trap, and I think Scarlet will be able to RC here. So there's a little bit of timing difference in timing. If you are point blank, you can't PRC anymore post flash, but there was just enough distance so that RTL wouldn't activate on the frame. Good spacing, and once again finding a nice Beak Driver. A lot of like round wins have been achieved with that Beak Driver, and it does make sense. Colliding with the chestnut here, and a lot of momentum going into that ice floor. Nice conversion from a 2K into close slash, a counter hit conversion as well. Empowered with that momentum that Hoplan had from the ice floor. But a big combo coming from Scarlet that does build or basically build all of the resources back for Hoplan, but I think it was basically a situation where Scarlet was almost guaranteed to get the wings trigger once again. So it was in her best interest to go for that huge maximum long time-consuming combo that even if it does build a lot of resources back for your opponent, it stalls for wings just the perfect amount of time as well. Alright, simple combo here. Not risking it too much, taking the earlier stage before the clean hit. Yeah, and Scarlet can't quite justify if she's on her, like, if she has her wits about her, it's kind of a situation where you don't want to burst anymore. Oh, this sliding forward actually working against Scarlet a bit. Getting extra momentum after those Beak Driver hits. It's kind of cool. I've never been in that situation myself before. Ooh, the wings did trigger for a moment. Counter hit conversions. Going to there are some counter hit routes that you can do. You can link far slash from that 5 heavy counter hit if you want to, but you can also just go into your DP BMB combo. 100 meter, and again finds the beak driver. The trademark tool that this character is known for. They said, a lot of Sin players said, man, did they massacre my boy between the versions. Beak driver used to be one of the most obnoxious tools in Exurd, but now is much more of a tamer version. But make no mistake, that tool is absolute fire when fighting from like super long distance away. And Hoplan has had a really keen game sense for where and when to use it. The timing also matters. You don't want to catch Dizzy like going for a startup of a summon. Rather a summon that is not Ice Spike, because Ice Spike is usually like... Ice Spike is dangerous. It's kind of fast, and once it manifests, like there's no poking through it whatsoever, even with a Beak Driver. Now spending the 2 stamina here, going for the standard guard crush, throw mix-up. Into more mix-ups with the empty load 2k2d, forcing Scarlet to burst before the wall break happens. The Tide's turn. Situation is rather even here, but Hoplan has all of the... Oh, good 6p! Yeah, you can definitely go through Beak Driver with the 6p if you're willing to commit to the bit. With a small, tiny 6p that DC has, though, it is a proposition. Nice side switch here. Able to switch sides. Unique feature of RTL. Ooh, cool combo. Counter hit 6 heavy into another 6 heavy into a super. Hoplan after the first 3 games, turning up the hit. I think there's actually, if I recall correctly, you can actually get an extra 6 heavy there, like a triple 6 heavy into super as well. There's so much you can do in the corner with a counter hit 6 heavy. Still sliding forward. Man, those physics, this is definitely Guilty Gear, the physics game with all of these tools. From a close slash, nice hit confirm on the Kara. So the reason you would go into this Kara Super from your overhead instead of RCing is that if you have less than 100 meter, you kind of want to secure wall break as much as possible. So if you RC, you aren't gonna get the heart knockdown. But by doing the Kara Super immediately, you forfeit a little bit of damage, but you secure the wall break if you got the hit confirms on board. Oh, this is good. This is good. Chestnut pressure with sliding forward momentum from the ice floor is one of the most fucked up situations that you can be put in against Dizzy. So close. I wonder if Kara Super here, like Beak Driver into Kara Super, would have built that meter. But that's a super advanced technique. So wouldn't expect anybody but like the highest Sin players in the region to maybe have that. But from a 3-0 position, evens it up 3 straight wins. Hoplan is indeed in flames, completely lit. Lit AF as the younger generation says or something. This time able to break the through from the guard crush. Oh, nice 5p anti-air. There's a huge discrepancy for a lot of characters, but especially for Sin, for how much damage you can pump out if you anti-air with 5p instead of 6p. But at the corner pressure from Scarlet. Taps the 5p. Ooh, that's a kind of a cool setup because you still have the fish there that might catch them after the RC. Can we get a 6p there? Doesn't risk it for the biscuit. Just goes back to neutral. That's a good decision as well because Scarlet had such a massive life lead that you can actually afford to play a little bit more safe, maybe with a jump D or so. Well, goes for the shimmy. Scarlet doesn't bite here. Finding a hit. Ooh, big 6 heavy. Again, going into the BMB. It's such a fun button to work with. And I think Hoplan, there's a... How should I put this? Like, when you're maining Sin, you often don't see like a lot of Sin mains working with that buttons because it's somewhat niche. But when you have like players who are coming from a different... Oh, this does actually deal enough damage. So 100 meter burn And I think this forces a wall break as well. This could actually be a kill here. Super cool if it is. Boom, shakalaka. Nice. Yeah, the same kind of feature is available for both of these characters. Seen with RTL, able to channel that 100 meter into a huge extra hit that you can break the wall with. But same works for Dizzy if you have 100 meter on that Imperial Ray. Or sorry, that Gamma Ray. I think it's probably the first time I ever see a Gamma Ray finish like that as well. Yep, kind of a guaranteed throw here. I think because Hoplan was in a recovery frame of jump slash. Lots of meter though. RTL is an option potentially. Tries to get out of there without using meter. And now the wings so close to resolving. RTL can RC. Does so. Oh, but gets touched by the fish. That must have been one of the last possibilities to break the wings. The wings were so close at resolving. Trying to go for a 6P, but Hoplan goes under this time. No big driver. And able to get that conversion there at the end. Ran out of stamina there mid-conversion, unfortunately, and had to drop the combo. But in the end, we got there. Hoplan, oh, this time it works. The shimmy ends up working. And Hoplan actually has a, I think, I'm actually surprised how like well versed Hoplan is with that counter hit 6 heavy conversions. Must have been practicing that tool a lot. Right, the reversal super works out, but this is a tough climb here. Hoplan has the life lead as well as a lot of meter. And now getting caught in the pressure. Plus frames. Yeah, one of the downsides of the chestnut is that it's not necessarily like the most damaging tool, even if you get the hit. Another reversal super. But still, situation is even and Hoplan has close to 50 meter, but close is not enough. You know, even if you have 49 tension, it's not 50. And you need exactly that 50 to have that super powerful ability to use your RCs. I think 6B here. Ooh, counter hit, close slash. Makes it very calorie efficient or stamina efficient in this game. Half of the opponent's life gone without spending any tension whatsoever. Alright, good mash, immediate burst from Hoplan. Got them airborne! And seeing close slash is such a nice tool for hit confirming those airborne hits. Looking for one more. Deflect shield, using it first, slowing down the frames for Hoplan. But now, look at this. There's so much life that Scarlet still has to chew through without any resources to spend. It's definitely possible though. Activating wings. Can RC it once again. Does it backward straight into the overhead. Were you looking for that, chat? Were you ready to react? In the heat of the moment, it's kind of hard to see it coming. They do say that, you know, hoof stomp is kind of borderline reactable. Depends on who you ask. But what makes it so tricky is you play from situations where the opponent is kind of not expecting it to come out, right? Such as like of the RTL FRC overhead. Good dash blocking. Exactly what you're needing in this matchup. Also, good blocks from Scarlet. I think the exact same situation has been occurring many a times where she kind of gets hit by the dash block in the beak driver, but this time was dealing with the situation accordingly. And now, was this a safe setup? No, it wasn't. And because of the distance, this time I think Hoplan wasn't quite able to turn it around the RTL and break the right wall. It's okay, we can corner carry as well and break the left wall. Old Kisk family wisdom. Waiting for the burst. Burst never comes. Oh, it still comes. Both players with a 50. Zoning, able to block out of that instant air dash jump slash from Hoplan. I was actually surprised. I was like, oh, they're gonna get punished here for sure. Alright, good patience. Hoplan doing a lot of back-to-back frame traps there, spending the whole stamina bar. At this point, it's kind of like a stalling game for Sin. Trying to hit confirm with the use of Orange Wild Assault. However, the S button ringed untrue at first, and I think at this distance, RTL should reach. All hell, Kisk. All hell, Kisk family secrets. RTL, where you at? And now trying to spend all the juice. Got a miss input on the. I think. Wait, I'm not sure if Hoplan actually had the Tyrant barrel ready to go there, which was kind of what he was definitely inputting. It's okay. We're all okay. Hoplan in the lead here. Only with one game, though, so it's still a situation where a lot of things can happen. Fire Slash goes active a little bit faster than the big driver that Hoplan was trying to poke with here. I think nowadays, if you get into that close point blank chestnut pressure situation, your best bet or your safest bet is probably trying to hold on to FD, because you can actually push back Dizzy nowadays. Although if you have the ice floor and momentum happening, ooh, okay, big counter hit, immediate burst as the doctor ordered. Oh, I think that's a punish. Activated the wings. And unfortunately, Hoplan had a little bit of that forward-moving momentum from the ice physics. Goes for the full spend, but not enough. Not enough yet. That's basically equivalent of Dizzy using the gamma ray. But of course, it's a little bit of a loss if you don't manage to kill the opponent. It's like if you can't kill, you would much rather just go for the normal RTL 3-hit combo and break the wall and then have 50 meter on the next screen. But hey, it's sometimes it's really hard to judge if it kills or not. Trying to get out of this corner position. Does find a 2K, but no Gatlin options queued into. Oh, here we go. Wings. Wings. Wings is still active. Ah, but out of the tech, it does dissipate though. Dissipate. Ooh, got them with a. But the Michael's doesn't reach. Was that an S version instead of the heavy version, or does it not go full screen? I think it just doesn't go full screen, I guess. Right, super important round here coming up. Is Scarlet gonna even it out, or is Hoplan gonna run away with big lead for the first time in this set? When it matters the most, counter hit! No conversions brought to it. Oh, I think it was I think Hoplan actually ran out of stamina there, so couldn't complete the big combo. That is unfortunately Sin Kisk live. Moving into the next screen with a decent amount of resources available for Hoplan, to stamina as well. So basically all standard combos are available! The ice slowing down Hoplan, unfortunately the micro dash after landing didn't quite register properly. 100 in the tank. Collides with the ice spike. I wonder... Yeah. But yeah, Scarlet does bring it 5 even once again. 2 more to end it. Yeah, I guess my predictions were a little bit off. I was almost certain in my estimation that Hoplan is like a big underdog in this set, but you know, never estimate the the high level players who are picking up new sub characters in this game. And I mean, Hoplan has been working on the Sin for quite a long time. And another really successful big driver here. Spends all to get back into the pressure. It's okay, especially if we find a good hit with the close slash. No cancel available because out of stamina. That was an awkward position. 100, we can cancel this. Waiting a little while in case there is an immediate wire C. One more hit. It was still active. Are you kidding me? That was like 10 years in the past and Hoplan still jumps into the pillar. Oh, counter hit. We have the stamina to convert it and the tension as well. Nice walk back at round start. Definitely very standard kind of a round start for both these characters. Can walk back away from most of their pokes, no matter what they choose to use. Although Sin is an exception in that regard with Far Slash. You can't walk out of that one. Good, well-placed Elkhunt. Getting there before the Ice Pillar manifests. But out from the back throw. Ooh, F-Shiki! And that might be a really good position to use it as well. We've been talking about, even during this event, how spending that meter for your mix-up too early is a fool's errand of sorts, or can be. But Scarlet, recognizing that if this hits, there is no new situation, there is no mix-ups, there is nothing. I can just spend it all here and bet the farm on the hit. Great 2S here. Kind of working with the same frame data as Sol is working with his 2S. The wings are still on. I think they can't deal lethal damage though, but you know, setting up the chip kill here, it was a really minuscule amount of damage that Scarlet was able to deliver with those resolved wings. But I think it ended up mattering because it took Hoplan to exactly 1 hit point, setting up the kill with special moves. Alright, sending the overhead, requiring a lot of stamina. Can't do that mid-screen, by the way. That was the nerf to Hoof Stomp as well. Oh, great backdash into a throw. Hoplan wasn't quite ready to option select that. Wings are on once again. Use the 50 meter to try to waste time. The wings again, so close at resolving. Ooh, another great. I think that was another route for 6 heavy. How many routes does Hoplan know for that counter hit? Because it changes a bit depending on how far away from the corner you are. Although I don't put it past like intuitive players to sort of compose a combo of their own, even if they've never done it before. Low stamina, but nice, finding a good hit that we don't have to use stamina on. This is a hard knockdown as well. One more close slash could be the deal. God, that's so obnoxious, so hard to get through. If your option to moving forward is just jumping. 100 meter. Can't send the PRC, however, in the aftermath, Scarlet manages to struggle out. 50 more in the tank, finding the Elkhunt hit, and even though, I mean, there was definitely an opportunity to burn the tension for a Kara Super as well. And I know Hoplan was asking about it the other day, so that might be a tool that Hoplan has in his kit as well. Going for Elkhunt, like Elk 1, Elk 2 into Kara Super. Which is, I think, is a really nifty tool for hit confirming Elkhunt nowadays. Using the FD, that's smart. But still, Scarlet had that big 2D range. Ooh, that's a counter hit. Wanna burst out of that one. Really fast like. Plus frames into the frame plus 2D once again. Even if the chestnut pushes you really far away, Dizzy has some really far-ranging buttons. Usually that 2D is the suspect that we're talking about. Look at these footsies. Hoplan can't quite, get enough momentum to slide forward fast enough to get into active range. Ah, it's still active! Oh my goodness! Set point Scarlet. They really did increase a lot of the active frames the previous patch. Finding a counter hit once again. Big. Now still working with 0 stamina here, but we can of course substitute stamina for, or rather attention for stamina. And of course other way around. To the other side. Hoplan working with the 100. Scarlet getting the throw. Scarlet gets the win here. It's all done. Hoplan has to leverage that remaining burst very carefully as well. There we go. There's the option select. The close slash was backdashed, but there is no way out if Sin is ready to input something, especially on these slower recovering backdashes. And I think Dizzy This is not like S tier in that regard. All right, the winner of this game, or rather the round goes down in history as that guy who won in the faded set between Scarlet and Hoplan. Here comes the stamina burn and the shimmy, but Scarlet still has the burst, can still play. The jump slash a little bit too short. The ice physics sort of preventing the momentum from Hoplan moving forward. Can't do that, Captain. Here's the Looney Tunes run once again. Oh, too close with the slide. Scarlet has a reversal super available. Hoplan's meter is definitely gonna go into this hard knockdown wall break, but now the question is deflect shield. Oh, but the forward moving momentum doesn't quite get the combo. Scarlet spends the last of her meter into YRC. Now Scarlet has nothing left. And putting the opponent at full screen. Zoning position. How about I put you in this position with 0 health, and then you have to go through the obstacle course with the adrenaline pumping, with the knowledge in the back of your mind that if you take any hit whatsoever, it's gonna be over. It is tough. A lot of leverage that you have against Dizzy is that often you're not at that 0 hit point situation. You can take chip damage as you're trying to move in, as you're trying to jump forward, as you're trying to, dash block forward. But in that moment, Hoplan had none of those options available, technically. What a good set. It does end up being Scarlet who takes it in the end, but I wasn't expecting it to be this tight, though. That was a good ass set of whatchamacallit, domestic violence. Now next one, Exulans versus Thunder Kitty. We got one of our longtime regulars in the form of Kitty facing up against Exulans, who we have only seen on Bounty Hunters, is it once or twice? I think once, right? Oh. Two explosive characters, two long-range characters, two characters who play the game a little bit different, though. I think Johnny... I would say, like, in the previous version, Johnny, if you are still as mobile as you are, it's probably, like, pretty dangerous to go high blood on Nagoryuki. But I mean, it's still like all those big buttons are there, and if you can't use, if you don't have access to even Fukio forward, then that allows Johnny to potentially set up those deals, put those cards in strategic positions where you can't really avoid them very easily, and where your only mobility option is to do the classic super jump forward. Which is, of course, if you're reading it, ready to anti-air it, ready to air it, ready to air throw it. Yeah, it's a big gamble to do on Nagoryuki's side, which is one of the reasons why you would much rather engage with your blood bar if possible. Clone Fukio, Beyblade into more Bloodburn RPS. Even like from a neutral position, even a Fukio forward can be like kinda hard to check if you're not exactly waiting for it. But yeah, let's see how this is gonna go.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Oh, Exulans starting with a 6P, gets countered immediately by that 2S. Yeah, Johnny's one of the best characters at round start, considering that he's Far Slash is the fastest version possible, prevents you from jumping very easily because it hits so hard. And then 2 as being so far-reaching that you can't backwalk out of it. It's a really deadly combination of a lot of different features. But I mean, Nagoriyuki ain't the worst round start character either. You're now at the high blood. Kitty working herself way forward. Ooh, try to go. Yo, that's one of the other, like one of the 2 options that you have against an air throw. If you get your frame slowed down in the air against the opponent, like the only 2 things you can do is either try to break the throw that is incoming or just go for a gold burst. If you are not in a recovery position, or rather a recovery state. Ooh, caught them with a low, straight into the card, and missing the last hit there, unfortunately. Able to get back in the midst of things. Good block on the first overhead, but the second one is inbound. As long as you have meter to spend, the pressure ain't over. And you bet your ass that meter is gonna be burned if Johnny is hunting for the last pixel. Fukio back, Fukio forward, into a very delayed DP. That was an interesting sequence. Delaying a little bit in the air by assuming the Mistfinder stance. The classic mechanic that has always allowed Johnny to float a little bit more than maybe a standard character. Setting up the turn up, guard crush. Now you're guessing from that point blank position, you actually do have the same potential as you had from like many setups in the past. Now certain knockdown setups are not necessarily as good as you can't jump, rather you can't dash forward as fast as previously. Ooh, not believing in the setup at all. Just wakes up with a throw. The empty jump for Exulans leads into heartache and -1 on game count. Yeah, that's a 9-frame normal, which means it's way faster, or rather it's just faster than Nagoriyuki's round start DP. I mean, even if it was 10 frames, it would be fast enough, right? Because you're usually like you need something that hits in 10 frames, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh, one fights the hit, nice. Yeah, a lot of the changes that Johnny went through since some of the latest patches have forced Johnny players to consider a lot of alternative strategies, approaches, combos, all that to, you know, what used to be standard Johnny play. Ooh, right back at you. I don't believe in your setup either. And Nagoriyuki can kinda afford to do that as well. Ooh, the back Fukio actually doesn't move you away from the sword range. Tries to go for a frame trap. Exulans, staying patient, but you can only stay patient so much when you have basically no life to play with at all. Kitty 2-0. Oh, another 6 heavy frame trap from the round start. Well, that was just footsies, right? Taking a step back and then going for it. Is that maybe a counter strategy against like a back Fukio Beyblade or something? OTG into instant air dash. We have the card still securing the knockdown. However, Exulans does get out, but poking through the clone Fukio just in time. I was about to say Kitty has so many resources that it's really hard to do anything here unless you manage to get like a decisive hit. Oh, good timing, good angle for Kitty. Able to attack Exulans before there's any sort of anti-air. Super jump. Reaction this time. And unleashes that 9-frame bar slash. Poke out of the corner. Gold burst is gonna be punished. If it's not blocked, it's relatively easy to punish. Waiting for a response. Here's a response for you. Bar slash. Nice reaction. Goes for a 6P right under. That's a really high level ability to detect frames and being. Oh, wait, popped in the middle of Clone Fukio. What is that? I've never seen that before. I think the idea was to sort of power through and get like a clone Fukio hit and then maybe combo into the blood explosion in order to get a safe activation, and then just eventually get the full blood gauge back. Ooh, nice anti-air. Is that gonna pop though? Is that gonna pop? One blood! Completely calculated. We're doing some math here, and that's gonna be the kill. Wall break, boom. Oh my god, that DP got me. That Nagoriki DP got me sweating a lot. Yep, that's gonna be fairly minus. Not punishable, but there's still RPS with what Johnny can do after the deal. Nice. Oh, but that was a gold burst. That was unfortunately a gold burst. Just let us know punish. And in fact, you might get punished yourself if you're trying to go for like a close slash or something. Good luck on the overhead. Exulans has been pretty vigilant with those so far. Drifting forward, trying to force pressure. Oh, nice. The dash jump over the 5 heavy is gonna be the round for Kitty. Keep looking really strong here, but there is still a chance for Exulans to put a stop to this madness. Counter hit Beyblade. Here we go. Straight into the corner with you. Safe jump. There are so many different kinds of advantages for Exulans here. Almost full burst. Relatively low blood, so we can... Ooh, nice reaction though. Or rather, not even a reaction. That was kind of a read that you had to play there. Far slash against the back Fukio. Reaches far enough as well to catch. Into a safe jump. And then the meter-empowered instant overhead misfire. Too bad we don't have the juice to break into a hard knockdown here. Lots of blood available. Clone Fukio is the burner. DP as well. That's gonna pop. And good recognition from Kitty. I was about to say, if you just burst here and run in and get plot popped, it's Jover. But luckily for Kitty, having the vigilance to realize, I think that was just the whole burst sequence. Kitty was kind of like, okay, if you spend more blood here, and if I get hit, hell, it might even be worth it to just take the hit on purpose. It doesn't even matter, like if they're ready to blood burn, because you can burst and they have no way out of it anymore. That's kind of like some of the most interesting counterplay opportunities that you. Oh no! Drops the super ender. Kitty burning all of her resources. Ah, this is dangerous. Even though Exulans is kind of low on health, so many resources to spend. Counter hit. That's gonna be a pop, right? Right? Or maybe not. Maybe not. You know what? Okay, it kills. I was like, you know what's tragic? If this is actually a pop when moving to the next screen, because like blood relief happens 50% slower than like blood increase. So like if that super doesn't kill, it could have been a checkmate. Ooh, great, too heavy. We got them anti-airs. And now the last far slash out of the sequence actually ends up hitting. Gold burst. We are on positive bonus, but how much we can do with it? Into that cool combo that Exulans was doing earlier as well. I gotta say, I don't think I've seen that combo too many times. Like, what is that? Counter hit DP first hit into a jump K into stuff. Yeah, that is kind of cool. I swear, Nagoriyuki has so much combo expression. Alright, the initiative is on Kitty's end here. Able to get the overhead hit. It looks funny, even though the misfire in the air is kind of angled upwards, it is still a standard jump in, therefore an overhead that you have to block standing. The delayed DP does not work as a frame trap this time. In fact, Exulans maybe chose to try to delay between the first and the second hit, allowing Kitty to get a mash in. Of course, if you think there is no second hit, then you get a mash with all of your might. Ooh, straight into the punish. Here we go. Switching sides, that's cool. Cool routing. And now both players looking for one more hit. Is that gonna be it? There is proration here because of the RC. Not quite a done deal yet. Exulans so close to 100 meter. But instead chooses to go for the fully charged Wild Assault. Into a bite. It's gonna be a kill, right? Right? Yeah. Almost doesn't matter what you do here. Queue up the super. 6 heavy. It's all good. I mean, 6 heavy doesn't necessarily deal that much damage when you are on high blood. So maybe you actually had to queue up the super here. That's a good thing to realize. The heavy buttons do get empowered in their own ways from high blood. Ooh, that was an interesting backdash catch. I think Thunder Kitty was probably hunting for a throw mash here, but hey, we'll take the backdash as well. And the far slash being a 9-frame move, once again faster than the startup of White Wild Assault. I think the magical number again is 10 frames, right? You have to hit faster than 10 frames to be able to poke out of the startup of White Wild Assault, if I recall correctly. Or is it more? Something like that. Alright, skipping through the deal. With Beyblade finding a good 2 heavy counter hit, and now -2. But we are PS for sure. Blood pressure relieved. And Exulans ready to pounce if you get an opportunity to play here. Has some pretty good prospects for dealing just enough damage with all of his remaining resources. The Mistfinder a little bit too fast, counter pokes the startup of Beyblade. Once again, good block on the overhead. Kitty dashes forward, finds the hit, good delay there. Ooh, another really cool combo there from the round start. Half of your opponent's life and you... Okay. Kitty realized that there is quite a lot of blood burn here, but I think Exulans was also working with a combo that doesn't necessarily need to burn any more blood. The DP ends up whiffing. It's okay, it's okay. Everybody calm down. It's okay. Just a frame kill or happy little accident, or if it was not, then it's gap, or whatever the kids say these days. Out of the throw and then pounces forward with the Beyblade so fast, and a good hitbox on top of that as well. Gets hit by the second hit of the DP into the corner. Unfortunately, back throw. Best throw. Ooh, and eventually it's gonna hit. But can Kitty get the successful conversion? Answer is yes. For the second wave of the, I guess the third time is the charm, as they say. Once again, drifting forward if you don't see your opponent doing anything. Prime opportunity to press your own buttons. Resources thrown back and forth. It's the last of Kitty, and it's exactly enough to get the decisive throw. Once again, in a situation where you basically burned everything that you have, and then some, but it doesn't matter if you just need to get the last hit. Again, the far slash. That far slash is so good at just catching the sequences that Nagoriyuki tries to use to like create frame trap situations. Because if you see Fukio and your far slash can counter both the forward and the back version, that's kind of nutty. Oh, is White Wild Assault invisible on frame 9? So then it's a timing issue, because like if the Wild Assault starts like immediately with a reversal timing, then far slash shouldn't be able to poke through it. Ooh, got them. Up on the combo though. Now Exulans will have to work with high blood. but it certainly doesn't come without benefits that you go into high blood. You still... Oh, the active frames! That looked so weird. That must have been the last active frame of that too heavy, where Kitty just floated into it. Got them with the low. Trying to somewhat equalize the life situation. Minus after the wild assault. Backdash out and a quick tap on the 5, or not even a tap, that's a fully charged one. Now you could potentially look at a chip kill situation if Exulans is not ready to just burn the reversal super immediately. Might have been what he tried to do, but just couldn't get the input out. Yeah, backdash, starting the combo sequence with the 5K. The big boots of the vampires. Vampiric 5K. Again, the far slash. The far slash is just way too fast and hits way too far. Timing is a little off for Kitty there off the wall. Ooh, nice whiff punish. We were so close to popping as well. Sees the burst coming out, and there's no mercy. You're gonna go for a ride. A roller coaster ride at that. A really cool finish here. I do love how Exulans is one of those Nago players who are not afraid of just playing it a little scary sometimes, playing it a little risky sometimes. And often enough, like, you have a lot of reward to counterbalance the risk as well. So if you're right, often enough, like Nago's RPS read, RPS reach will lead into successful kills. Sorry, I'm having hiccups here. Give me that Wawa, give me that sip. Oh, the close slash actually ended up whipping there into blood-sucking universe. Was that a frame kill of sorts? Into the deal, yeah. And because you have to kind of respect it, you are subject to throw mix-ups in like on the way. And if you try to struggle out of that throw mix-up, you might get counter-hit by close slash instead. That's why they say often enough, like, one of the few options that you can play in situations like that is just try the fuzzy jump. Oh, the classic. Wall break, instant air dash with a button, land into a throw. If the opponent is expecting a safe jump, well, you got yourself a throw for free. The deflection couldn't quite push Thunder Kitty away far enough to avoid the turn up there. And now Thunder Kitty is on a set point position, so this could be the last. Takes the burst and plays a very safe sequence. 1-2 super. Kitty, with the experience, playing both the super powerful version and the toned down version of this character, committing to the bit, not giving up on the main that we've been playing for such a long time, able to secure the set 7-2. All right, we've reached the last dance of the evening. We've got Poki, for the first time in a while, back on that Anji. So Poki has been playing a couple of different characters, or mainly the Kai, right? I guess it is as it says in the card comment. Anji's starting to be fun again. Go back to the old main. And I mean, honestly, from my point of view, Poki was kind of getting to a point on Kai where the power level on his Kai was sort of equivalent to his Anji, maybe. Is that a fair thing to say? No way, right? Because Poki's Anji is like so good, so high level.
Right, so there's also a little bit of a unfortunate turn of events here with the matchmaking of this set. Because like when this match was on the drawing board, I think Tomi signed up with, was it Potemkin originally? And I was like, my brain was on autopilot. I was like, okay, Tomi signing up, it gotta be Zato. So then this match was match made with basically Tomi's main character power in mind, Zato. But Tomi was also like, okay, it's fine. I'll play the Zato. I'll play the Zato for now. So we've seen a lot of Zato matches recently where you're playing against characters that are just so good at poking at you at full screen, such as like Zato versus Happy Chaos, and you know the like, where the Zato players haven't been able to play with the puppet at neutral at all, per se. But I would say this is a matchup where you probably can get a little bit more value for, like, if you want to, you can use the puppet for neutral. Because like Anji is not known for his neutral either. In fact, it's kind of like Anji has okay-ish buttons, but the problem is that a lot of characters in this game just have just so much better buttons, just so much better BMB buttons that he has, so that he kind of has to rely on the spin to play neutral in a different kind of way. So it's very rare that you would ever get like a decisive advantage for footsies and playing neutral on this character. But on the other hand, you're playing against Zato, who is not known for his like poking game either. Like, both of these characters have very non-traditional neutral. They can have some strong tools, but if you compare to some like Shodo-like characters like Kai, who just have straight up good buttons that you can put out there, that you can try to counter poke with, you can try to protect space with, you can try to engage with. These characters don't necessarily have like those, like all of those standard options available. Or I mean, they do, but it does not make any sense to like go for those in, you know, in certain situations, because the reward is not there. They're not good enough for those functions. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the players choose to tackle this matchup, actually. Like, you're only dancing, you're only spinning on Anji if you think that the opponent is gonna be poking at you, right? But is Zato gonna be? So it might, in a perverse kind of way, it might lead into like a situation where you actually don't spin much, but you try to engage with your normals.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society. So instead of reflecting on themselves, they blamed the beasts. Heaven or hell.
Right, one of the toughest Anji players in this region,
Duel 1.
Pokey,
Let's rock.
against the like one of the most loyal Zato players in the region as well. Nice reflect there. Didn't quite get the value from the reflected butterfly, but I mean it's enough value that you seal the ground, right? Closer started though. Yeah, it's pretty good fodder for a burst. Anji, one of those characters who has has an air normal that can't stall his air momentum. So you have to pick your timings and your anti-air tools very carefully against him. Oh, drifting straight into a counter close slash. Drop the combo somewhere along the way though. No matter, still in it to pressure it.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
It's probably gonna be a really fast-paced matchup because these are like old rating update, like 1900
or 2K kind of a players. A big question here: would Pokey still want to burst? I think the answer is no, because he didn't go for it immediately. And now the hero burst, certainly nah. We don't do that shit. We ain't doing that shit here. At the top of the competition. Both players disengaging. The brown style, good 6B, goes in the right direction as well. And now working with the puppet, gets the mix up. Good opportunity to burst proper. It's like if you can burst while Zato is on very low puppet gauge, you can put him into like maximum amount of having to play without puppet. Usually a pretty good ordeal if you're already taking a combo. Here we go with the summon, sending the pierce and sending the air pierce, aka the jumpy RC buff. I think unless you have an input reversal of something like that, PRCing out of a hit that touched their spin, you don't get to like guarantee your way out of it per se. And Zato would be one of those characters. One for Tomi, but very early still. Let's see how this develops. Both of these players have a lot of capability for adaptation. As it was kind of like something that Raigen would say. God, I love Raigen's commentary. Why isn't Raigen commentating right here? Sad day when commentators become so good at fighting games that they sort of trade the focus of their career to actually playing the video game. This pressure string really not ending, is it? Anji's one of those characters who, like, if you let him do what he wants to do, like if he does the new charged Hujin specials into more stuff, it builds meter really fast. And Anji is a great character with meter in their pressure. Dancing straight into the oppose. Yeah, this is kind of like what I was seeing in my mind's eye before the round, before the matchup started. Because both of these players might want to do stuff that isn't actively aggressive. The shimmy here. Tomi doesn't bite on that throw. Ooh, great angle with the jump in. And now, time to block puppet pressure. However, Tomi wanted to be super safe with it, so Poke was able to escape in the end. Jump out of there, tried to pierce the options, it was a little too late. Tomi's already out of that throw situation. Deflect shield works out. I mean, even if you play that backdash BRC overhead, it still reaches far enough for the deflect shield to register as a hit and push you out of it completely. And I know Pokey loves that mix-up, especially like the backdash BRC overheads. Alright, finding a 6 heavy hit into a... Is it a hard knockdown or a soft knockdown? It's still good enough a knockdown that you can press your advantage afterwards. Ooh, dancing straight into the oppose. Which, wait, huh? Did the puppet actually trigger it here? I think the puppet ended up triggering, because I thought Tomi was backdashing there when the Katohu gets you triggered. Yeah, just simple jump into an instant air dash. Zato has a lot of functions that a lot of tools that function kind of like as a fireball tool. So many of the summons, the drills. Ooh, got the throw on that Hujin. And now into a big combo. Got an unsummon as well that guarantees that moving to the next stage, we are gonna have full puppet gauge ready to go. Missed with the 6B unfortunately, or sorry, the 5B anti-air. Deflect shield once again. Ooh, wait. The drill was out, so Tomi didn't actually have to do anything afterwards. Good far slash, finding a nice B&B combo. Both players looking for one more hit here, sending the Froggy unsummon. Ooh, dangerous. Poking into that. Oh, poking into that oppose is the name of the game. Pokey getting the burst back just in time to maybe play for the round win still. Go ends up whipping completely because Tomi is flying up in the sky. Tomi is so freaking high, and so is that Toad.
Duel 3.
Ooh, that's a nice one. Jumping out of the shin. You can, like, if you think it's coming, you can definitely punish it with an air to air from that angle, or maybe try to even air throw it. Yeah, standard 2P into RC, especially see that from characters like Zato, who can't really convert their like jabs without puppets. The control, the air control is immaculate from Tomi into a conversion. I think this should be a kill. No! The EHP on Anji, slightly more durable than some of the other characters. The Zato Master maintains the advantage for now.
Duel 1.
Anji's a very explosive character that can potentially make games happen really fast if you get the right hits into yeah, exactly this pressure. Tomi feels the heat, wants to get out of it immediately before it escalates. Plus frames from the shin. Again, the very delayed. What's it called? The what's the low follow-up for Fujin called? I always get it wrong. Always forget the name. Alright, Burning Meteor trying to get into offensive position. Runs out of the puppet gauge, so now we have to be really careful. Disengages. Oh, perfect spacing just outside of the range. Basically the tip range of Pokey's pokes. Does find the successful hit in the end. Something positive here. Tomi manages to take almost a full stick of burst into this next round. And maybe have to think about using it here. Doesn't bite on the shimmy again. Pokey has gone for the backdash shimmy quite a few times already. It's also a super important ability to recognize when you play those shimmies and the opponent is not doing anything, that you're not giving away the momentum for free. Because they might even start pressing a button or dashing, like jumping out of it if you abort your pressure too often. Okay, with the 100. But it's I was about to say, it's a little awkward because that reversal super is not a standard reversal. It's not a DP super, it's a counter super. So in a lot of these situations, it would trigger off the puppet. Yeah, perfect timing on the 2S. The very most standard counter. Nice jump out of the shin again. And again! Yeah, Tomi's reading that really well. Switches sides, put Pokey in the corner, maybe even was able to get a unsummon there. And another one before the full damaging super. Like you would want to do this. You would want to use like Amorphous if possible, routing into your last hit off the wall because it does more damage. Alrighty then, cultists. We got 2 games of lead here for Tomi.
Duel 1.
This is also another, like, the timing is perfect. Pokey tried to frame trap with that Rin. But Tomi smelled the gap, able to mash between. And again, the 2S, really super far-reaching button for Zato. Especially good when you're working in tandem with your puppet, because you can be so far away to poke with your main body. I mean, it works without your puppet as well, like so. Especially if it counter hits, you can go into something like this. Boom shakalaka. Oh, baby. Right, not the most favorable trade for Tomi, for he did lose his puppet, but he is back for now. Ready to be summoned, ready to pierce onwards. Unsummon in the middle of the combo. Yeah, Tomi being like one of the elder Zato players definitely knows how to incorporate the unsummon into your game plan and when to use it. Of course, the layer one. I think Poke. Yeah, I guess that was an overhead attempt and not a throw attempt. But it was so late that Tomi was able to jump out of it. The jumpy again. One of the favorite buttons of Zato players. Reaches surprisingly far and is surprisingly active for a jumpy. And there we go again. Wait. I thought Tomi was supposed to be the underdog here. Is the rust showing for Poke's Anji? Or is Tomi just that cracked? I mean, I know he's cracked. Tomi just has played this character non-stop. All the time. Never giving up. Except when he was playing Potemkin. But we didn't let him do that. It was like, nah, you're the last Zato loyalist. You can't play that. You can't play a different character. Come on. It's not allowed. If you don't support Zato, then who will? And so far, supporting going pretty well. Not getting unsummoned this time, but full coast-to-coast corner carry does have its merits. And really far range 2S counter hit conversion spins into lots of things happening. That's things were happening kind of a moment. Trademark. This should be enough, even though the combo is rather pro-rated. Anji does shit out quite a lot of damage from like many hits. And Zato is a character who basically has no guts to speak of, so always takes max. Oh, the combo or the string wasn't quite what Tomi meant to happen. I assume. Do it again though. Never give up. Using the Sun Void as a huh? Was that a combo or was that a combo drop? That was I thought that was supposed to be a reset into full Eddy gauge. A good presence of mind from Poke, able to tech the air throw. Overhead is blocked. Gets hit by the low frame trap though. And again, in this situation, you shouldn't probably go for the burst, even if you feel like it's like a lot of players have that visceral muscle memory reaction when they take a big counter hit. They're like, oh shit, burst. But it can definitely work against you if you're in a round where you absolutely shouldn't burst and you're in a place where you probably can't make the comeback anymore. Good 6P. Drop them into the corner, however. Poke, sees the air button, deems that is 6P-able for sure. Working in tandem with the puppet, that's a good burst. That 50 meter is not gonna be available for Tomi anymore. At least working with a full puppet gets nice jump K, intercepts him. Shadow Master from the skies. But Tomi also great air-to-air converting into a puppet combo. Needs one more. Maybe doesn't even need a combo. Can do it with a puppet or a jumpy or anything. Ooh, that's a mix of the big 6P, so that's gonna be a huge punch. No kill? Deflect shield? Wait! The drill! The drill! I completely missed that there was a drill. So Tomi once again did the drill FRC forward into nothing. And even though Poke would have in normal circumstances been in advantageous position, they landed straight into the active drill that was just manifesting. Alright, but can't fret that too much. We got some Zatos to kill still if we wanna recover and still win this set. I mean, we've seen nastier comebacks. It definitely feels like Poke hasn't lost his fighting spirit just yet. Ooh, that 2S reaches so far. Dancing in front of Zato when there's an oppose. Not a good proposition, definitely. Even if you can manage to trigger the dance itself and could go for a follow-up. I mean, the oppose is still there, so you can't really do much as long as Zato is holding on to it. And now you're holding on to this combo. Yeah, I was about to say these nuts, but I don't make that kind of jokes. Ooh, the tap, the precision tap. Oh, it's dangerous. If Poki loses this one, it's gonna be tough. Starting with a good combo, dropping Zato in the corner, misses with the core. Yep, you can go so high up on this character when you enable the flight. And there it is again, trying to poke into the oppose, but Tomi staying vigilant, taking all that damage when you can get. Right. Kacho Hugetsu will end up working out here. Not quite sealing the deal. Good instant air dash. That is gonna seal the deal, right? Right? Unless you drop. Spoke too soon. Still favorite to win. And spin straight into the jump startup. I mean, it was past the jump startup, but yeah, that's the unfortunate fact that even if you get your jump off, you still probably have to block a lot of the time in situations like that. That jump D from Anji is so tricksy. Many warriors have fallen trying to anti-air prematurely against an Anji that is jumping in. Nagiha would be quite punishable from that range, so Poki goes for the FRC. This is building so much meter. Anji, are you okay? What crack are you snorting? Still has meter for the backdash BRC mix-up. Yo, that is nasty. And again, it's a sequence that is tried and true. Works very often. That's straight into the into the drill. Tomi still on top of the things. The anti-air into offensive sequence. Would be, oh, again, Tomi's so good at knowing when he just doesn't have to do anything. Just let the drill handle it. Nice jump out of there. And this time Poki didn't have the 50 meter to option select it. So you live with your decisions. Good mash out of the pressure string though. We are working with the best 2P in the game after, or one of the bests. One of the bests? Is that English? One of the best 2Ps? I mean, there are a lot of different kind of 2Ps. Anji's is abnormally far-reaching in horizontal trajectory. There are also like 2Ps like Gold Louis that reach abnormally high or stuff like that. But I mean, definitely one of them. This character, Anji. Ooh, nice! That was a good summon there. Summon into a pose in case the opponent was doing an instant air dash, and he was doing just that. Can we still block here? Yeah, we can. First it is guard crush though. Got him with the froggy, and got them with the drill as well. Like, I see a lot of Zato players who like don't use drill very much. It might be a matchup thing, of course, because like, yeah, it does make sense. Like, drill is kind of like one of those tools that is great at... It is a fireball function, right? It does prevent the opponent from moving forward on horizontal trajectory on the ground. With a great corner carry combo, we have Puppet ready to be summoned. And... the wall gives up a little too early, so not quite the kill yet, but now it's gonna be a tough comeback for Poki. How do we get out of this? Tap 5D, block this. 20 frame overhead.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Okay, Tomi in a really great position here. 6 points, and the opponent is still at the... still not even halfway there. Ooh, just living on a prayer. And that's exactly what Poki is probably living on here. Because Tomi is showing some really relentless pursuit. Oh, that's the Leonardo DiCaprio pointing me. That's the tool. That's the tool. I've seen once in my life. Was that a misinput? Do Zato players actually use that shit? Oh my god, set point Tomi. Alright, that's gonna be a nice round start knockdown from the get-go. Ooh, cool, 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 cool. So if the butterfly hits like that, you can still combo like so. Yeah, there's a little bit of presence of mind that you gotta have depending on how the opponent chooses to deal with your butterflies. Of course, Poke hasn't been using it that much because there's always a threat of the drunkard shape and just using it against you, reflecting it back. Yeah, there's once again the drill, making it so difficult for Poke to move forward. You can't really use your Hujin stuff very easily from neutral if there is a drill in front of you with its active frames. Good anti-air, that should seal the deal. Don't drop it. Yeah, we don't drop those. Never dropped combos before. Never, ever, 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 ever. Still set point though. Ooh, reads the round start, spin, straight into a throw. Now, where the mix-up gonna come from? We find a hit on just a 2S, I think that was. Can we still poke? Ooh, we're going into a throw. Might be the last pressure sequence if Tomi finds a good one here. Finds a hit. Is it enough? Wall break into Centipede. Tomi takes it over Pokey 7-3. Are you kidding me? I was like, I was heavily underestimating the Team Finland today. I was like, yeah, this Hoplan, this Tomi, they ain't gonna do shit. They're gonna get destroyed. But in fact, some of the toughest games for Hoplan, or some of the most even kind of gameplay for Hoplan, and then Tomi sweeps it on that character that they say is borderline unviable. It don't matter. It don't matter if you're facing a grandmaster of the character who has stuck with the character through highs and the lows. And no greater love in this community for this character other than Tomi. I'm speculating this to be so. That's my headcanon at least. Secretly, Tomi probably hates this character. Like, god damn. Ishiwatari nerfed my character to the ground, and like, I just want to play my Zato, and you know, of course you can. Of course you can, and Tomi definitely will. Okay, that was quite the set of sets. But that also means that our time together has come to an end here. Another successful Sunday. Now, next Bounty Hunters is gonna be on the 21st, so a little pre-Christmas celebratory stream. And then we bypass Christmas and get another one on the 28th. Well before the New Year's, so all of the remaining events for this month are gonna happen as scheduled. No deviation in the usual schedule. If you want to sign up for the next one and play one of these cool ass FT7s, you can join my Discord. The sign up forms are gonna be posted there lickety split after we go offline. But now I will bid you farewell. Thank you so much for watching, and perhaps send you over to some other Guilty Gear Strive content, if there is any going on at the moment. Is there? Who trying to do that streaming stuff? Oh, there's a couple. Let's Do I know any of these people? I don't think so. Is this an event of some sort? Warring Triad number 14. Let's go see what that's about. Just do a random raid. Gotta go somewhere, right? All right, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next Sunday, same time, 5 p.m. CET. Till then, stay safe, play Guilty Gear, and sacrifice goats for the cult.